I wonder how to adjust the Discord audio. Wonder if that fixed it. I don't know. What's happening? All right, do a couple field generals here. Give us some good spots. Give us some good spots. See, now that the Chihuahua's there, though, I don't. These might take a minute to fill. These might take a minute to fill. Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. Maybe not, I guess. We've already had 3 since I got here. I mean, we have to get the 1 or the 2 for Josh Allen or Landjack. I like the 1 spot. I feel like at the 1 spot, damn, already only 6. At the 1 spot, probably in the mix for starting running back and receiver. Hmm. All right, let's pull this over. Is there anyone saying anything out there worth listening to? All right, you know what? I like this
You know,
guy.
it's kind of a funny
We'll
story.
listen
I was
to him.
scrolling on eBay looking for a car.
Mine.
Nona was right.
Today we are talking about the most important position in fantasy football for this year, the running back position. More specifically, we're talking about the 5 running backs who could help you win your fantasy league this year. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Sal Vetri. I've helped over 10,000 people win their fantasy league the last few years alone, and I plan to do the same for you with this video. Now, let's start with David Montgomery, who will be 29 years old when the season starts, which feels like a little bit sketchy. A somewhat older running back. Montgomery has had some good seasons for sure in the NFL, but he was never like that #1 running back overall or even anywhere near it like your Saquons have been, and in past years, you know, Derrick Henry's, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, all those guys. But the thing that's interesting about David Montgomery is he's on a new team. The Houston Texans went out there and said, yes, we want you, David Montgomery. We will trade for you. So now he's on the Houston Texans despite being 29 years old when the season starts. And last year, no doubt about it, was a rough season for David Montgomery. He lost a lot of workload, especially in the second half of the season on the Lions. They went to Jahmyr Gibbs more when Dan Campbell started calling plays. Only 37% of the snaps for David Montgomery, when in past years this was closer to 50%, 35% of the opportunities. None of this was good, weird. Including the overall counting numbers.
Tragic.
Like Montgomery last year probably was 6th, maybe 7th round pick. That's not going to pay off for you when you're getting 716 rushing yards. But more importantly, your touchdowns come down. You finish as the running back 32. You have your fewest touchdowns.
Why is Christian McCaffrey so far at JD?
Career with the Lions with only 8,
asking for a
and
friend.
that's because Jahmyr Gibbs was earning more red zone work, more goal line work, more overall opportunities from week 10 on. But when Montgomery got work last year and actually saw a decent amount of touches, when he saw at least 13 touches last season, he averaged 13 fantasy points per game, 80 total yards, and had 4 touchdowns in those 6 games where he saw at least 13 touches. Now, that's the version of Montgomery we should remember, because despite being 28 years old, when he got opportunities, he was still good. The reason why overall in the season he didn't see as many opportunities is because he was playing with arguably the best running back in football in his backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs. But that's not a worry anymore, because like we said, the Lions ended up trading David Montgomery to the Texans in exchange for a 4th round and a 7th round pick and offensive lineman Juice Scruggs. So a decent haul that they had to give away to acquire one David Montgomery here for the Houston Texans. So this could be an interesting situation. Like, this was before free agency. It was before the NFL draft. So we were saying, okay, Montgomery's in a nice spot now. Doesn't have Jahmyr Gibbs anymore, but we'll see what they add potentially to this backfield alongside Woody Martin and David Montgomery. However, the NFL draft has come and gone. Free agency has come and gone. There's some guys still out there on the open market, but no name-worthy running backs. So right now, Montgomery was brought in. No other running backs in free agency, according to the team changes tracker in the fantasy blueprint. This is my tool. You're going to have Dameon Pierce gone. You're going to have Joe Mixon gone, who didn't play at all last year. And in the NFL draft, no running backs added. So there's absolutely no new competition here. So what does this mean?
I'm
It
going to
means the
see
current
3.
backfield for the Houston Texans is David Montgomery, the 28-year-old, soon-to-be 29-year-old, who they traded for this offseason. Woody Marks, their second-year player, who's a little bit of an older prospect, already 25 years old, more of a pass-catching running back, struggled with efficiency.
I mean, it's just going to go verbatim.
And then there's Jawar Jordan, who honestly, I think this is now a 3-year
He has
player for
robots.
Louisville, 26 years old. Jawar Jordan, when he actually got workload last year, is putting up like these 100-yard games, but on the overall course of a season, once again, not really
You a
somebody I'm
robot?
going to trust as much as a experienced veteran in David Montgomery. So
I mean,
I'm feeling pretty good.
Puka's
about
great,
Montgomery.
but
If his
even on,
biggest
bruh,
competition right now is going to be Woody
don't
Marks.
tempt
I
me
liked Woody Marks
because
coming out of
I'm
college
close
as a
to
fourth-round
the
pick, especially since
edge.
we knew that Joe Mixon had some
Take
behind-the-scenes
take Caleb.
issues going on last year heading into the season.
Let
And in a
Jalen
rookie
fall to
year
you, brother.
like,
Go
you're
ahead.
not going to get a
Feel
lot
like
of
you got a
third-round picks
prize.
putting up between his rushing yards of 700 and receiving yards of 200, over 900 total yards, 24 catches, and a year where he was still like kind of splitting the workload at times with a
No, I
Damian
think I go
Harris,
T-Law.
at times with the Jawar Jordan, at times Woody Marks himself was banged up, right? So it's an interesting backfield to at least look at for Woody Marks this year in terms of like his role as a pass catcher. But outside of that, as far as the early downs go, I think it's pretty proven that David Montgomery has tackled
They took T-Law.
ability, the bigger size compared to
You're
Woody
gonna leave
Marks,
me
who only has
Dak, bro?
15, maybe even 20 pounds on
The
Woody
Caleb
Marks.
Dak
From, like, a
stack?
red zone
I
view,
ain't.
I think it's pretty clear that's gonna be
We're running with
him
the
as
Caleb
well.
Dak
And the other
stack,
thing
bro.
that's interesting to point out, if we go back to the team changes tracker here, like the Texans' offensive line should be improved. This is an offensive line that the last 2 seasons has been pretty brutal. We saw C.J. Stroud struggle last year behind that offensive line.
Derrick Henry
So
won't
they
make it
put-
back to
they
me,
went
I don't
out there,
think.
They acquired
Maybe.
Wyatt Teller, Evan Brown, Braden
Just
Smith
maybe.
in free agency and via trades.
He
and then with their
does.
first-round pick, they end up going out there. They might have traded up for him, I can't recall, and getting Kalen Rutledge, an offensive tackle
Wow.
in the NFL draft in the first round. So the offensive line,
This
at
guy.
least on paper, should be decently to greatly improved. And there's no competition for Montgomery. I get it. He's a 29-year-old aging running back. He's not like the flashiest, most explosive.
Will he
pass
survive?
catcher
We're gonna
in the
watch
league.
him.
The
We're gonna watch
situation
him
is
throughout
set
the
up for him,
draft.
especially when you consider
What's his
that
name?
his current
Cab?
price right now in
CA9.
fantasy drafts is like a 5th to
What a
6th
robot
round
name,
pick.
bro.
It's somewhat in that like dead zone if you're really into
96585. What is that?
fantasy.
Zip
But for the
code?
most part, I
California?
think it's a little bit later than that. If David Montgomery is going to be, let's say you start hero RB, you get a Bijan or a Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round, whoever it might be, and then you don't take a running back until like the 6th round and it's David Montgomery, I feel decent about that build. Next up, let's talk about another guy who can win you your fantasy leagues this year, and it's Rico Dotto, who, like David Montgomery, will be on a new team this season because Rico Dotto, who will be 28 years old this year, is now a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers after signing with the team in free agency. No longer is Kenneth Gainwell there. Rico Dotto comes in, and Rico Dotto's an interesting player. Not only last year did he go for 1,000 rushing yards in between his rushing and receiving yards, he had over 1,300 total yards. He caught 39 balls. Like, all of this is very strong production for Rico Dotto, who was sharing a backfield with Chuba Hubbard when Hubbard was healthy for the majority of the season. So that's great. But now you're getting Rico Dotto, not only last year on the Carolina Panthers, but the year before that on the Dallas Cowboys. You're getting him in back-to-back seasons, topping 1,000 yards, almost identical seasons here. Look at this. Last year, 236 carries, 2024, 235. Last year, 1,076 rushing yards. The year before, 1,079. Both seasons, he's averaging 4.6 yards per carry. Both seasons, he has 30.
Quarterback's gonna stretch the trickle here.
Seasons of really
This guy's
good
got 2
production from Rico
quarterbacks.
Dotto, despite being put into a
Will he
completely
take a
separate
third?
offense. Now, once again, Dotto,
No,
for the 3rd straight
he did
season,
not.
will go to a totally new team.
I got 2
a totally new
quarterbacks.
offense. However, one thing is
Should I
still
take a
pretty similar,
third?
and that's his new coach. Mike McCarthy's a new coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pittsburgh native himself, and he's reconnected with Rico Dotto. They were together during their time in 2024 with the Dallas Cowboys when Rico Dotto actually broke out, and Mike McCarthy started giving touches to Dotto over the aging running back in Ezekiel Elliott. And in that season, as we alluded to earlier, you got the
Quarterback,
big year out of
quarterback.
Rico Dotto. You got the 1,000
You want a
plus
quarterback,
rushing yards.
quarterback.
You ended up having 39 catches. You ended up having nearly 300 receiving yards out of him. So this was in a season with Mike McCarthy.
I expect all,
McCarthy
man.
was talking glowingly
Everyone
about
that's
Rico
got
Dotto back in
one quarterback should go
2024.
quarterback.
McCarthy has already started to talk glowingly
Go
about
quarterback.
Rico
Go
Dotto
quarterback.
since they
No.
acquired him in
Go
the
quarterback.
free agency.
Go
Now, one more
quarterback.
thing I also want to point out about Dotto, which is a little bit different than like the first guy we talked about in
No.
David Montgomery.
Okay.
Rico Dotto has explosiveness. He has the ability to just take over games. We saw this last year when Chuba Hubbard was banged up and not 100% or out in those.
There's
7
no
games from
receivers,
weeks
bro.
5 through to 11 with the Panthers. Dotto was averaging over 20 fantasy points per game, 20 carries per game. He was a workhorse. Over
Don't
100
take
rushing
Derrick
yards
Henry
per
from
game.
me, you
If you remember, there was
a-holes.
these 2 massive weeks where he was individually winning weeks for people. 23 carries, 200 rushing yards.
I'm going Derrick
also factored
Henry
in a touchdown
or
there
Jordan
to the
Love
receiving
if they're
work.
there.
And the following week, right after that, his matchup against
Took
the
Derrick
22
Henry.
Dallas Cowboys, 30 carries,
Took Jordan Love.
183
Cool.
yards on the ground, but he didn't stop there. He also led the team in receiving.
So we
with
take
4
Baker,
catches,
Baker
36
touchdown
yards,
maker?
touchdowns,
No.
240 total yards and a touchdown.
I don't know. We're
He those 2
taking
games, he was averaging like 220 yards a week in
taking
back-to-back
Hampton.
weeks. He was just absolutely
Not even thinking about it.
so
Was
it's
to
interesting
take
to look at
Hampton.
his current competition. Fellow 27-year-old Jalen Warren is there. Jalen Warren continues to just kind of be the RB1B on this Steelers team, dating back to Najee Harris. Even last year, Jalen Warren couldn't beat out Kenneth Gainwell as like the most explosive and best pass-catching running back in this backfield. We've seen it for time and time again now. Jalen Warren has just never been able to be that guy. And if you look at the profile of these guys, Warren profiles out more like a third down back, and Rico Dowdle profiles out like Najee Harris was 2 and 3
Jeremiah Love.
in this offense
Okay.
of the Steelers as the early
That was a
down,
quick pick.
220 plus
Shaw
running
Love,
back
he
who's
knew
gonna
it.
see a lot of
Knew what he
work.
wanted.
So, Rico Dowdle to me is somebody that is going to be slept on in the process a little bit. Like, it's not going to be the most exciting offense with an older Aaron Rodgers most likely coming back here. But when you really start to look at it on paper, like Mike McCarthy
All
has
right.
been known, albeit with like great quarterback play in Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers in his career, although he has Rodgers again, he has been known to call
Cab,
good
go
offenses.
quarterback,
Now
bro.
you're gonna have a good
You're already
offensive
down to
football,
like,
DK
bruh.
Metcalf, with the rookie
This
junior
guy.
wide receiver with Michael Pittman, all the tight ends that they have. If Rodgers can just sustain drives, Rico Dowdle should
He's
have a lot
just
of
trying to
upside.
stack
And Rico Dowdle
value.
right now currently
Should I
has a
try
nice,
his
easy
to
90
follow his lead?
He's currently being
He's
taken
playing a
sometimes
dangerous game, bro.
rounds after his teammate Jalen Warren. I get it. Warren is the guy
I
who's
mean,
always been on this team, but Dowdle just got
you're gonna
benched
have
off
no
season.
quarterbacks
To me,
left,
profiles
brother.
out as like a more complete RB1 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, before we keep going, I've got something to tell you because I've teamed up with DraftKings and you're going to want to hear this. Because they just dropped the biggest fantasy football contest in the history of the sport. We are talking about a $20 million best ball prize pool where 3 different people are going to walk away millionaires this year. Now, look, if you've never played best ball, no worries. Here's what you need to know. You draft your team one time and that's it. No setting lineups, no waiver wire, no Sunday morning panicking. Your top scores automatically count every week. You're basically getting a fun sweat all season long with your team and players without having to lift a finger or do any work after the draft. Now, here's the part you don't want to miss. DraftKings is running a draft one, get one offer right now. All customers enter a lineup into the $20 million best ball headliner contest for $25 and get a bonus ticket for a second entry. That
Why is there an
basically means you
ant
have
walking
2
on my
shots at
screen,
your share
bro?
of $20 million and maybe being one of those 3
Am I getting
people who
taken
are
over,
become a
bro?
millionaire. So all you have to do now is download the
Am I getting
DraftKings
invaded?
app, sign up with promo code SAL, and get your lineups in before the season kicks off. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Alrighty, next up, let's talk about Kenneth Walker here. Yet again, another player who will be on a
Why the
brand new
fuck?
team this offseason. Kenneth Walker, the 25-year-old running back who's still in the prime of his career, signed a massive contract, especially for the running back position, relatively massive contract, with the Kansas City Chiefs this offseason to be, by all accounts, their new RB1.
The Ants
Now,
are so
Kenneth
bad
Walker,
this year,
last
bro.
year, like, not his best year by any means, at least from
They're
a
so
regular
bad.
season perspective, especially when you consider he was a 4th or a 5th round fantasy pick.
I don't know
Last
why,
year, he
but they're
plays
so
all
bad
17
this year.
games. He finally stays healthy. He has 221 carries, the most he's had in a season with Zach Charbonnet there in Seattle. Gets 1,000 rushing yards. So, like,
Maybe
solid,
Cab
but
knew
still, based
something.
on where you took
Because
him,
look at the quarterback
wasn't
still
going
sitting
to
here.
pay off you. He only finishes as the RB28 for a big reason why he only had 5 touchdowns. His receptions total dropped from a career high 46 the year before that with offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb to just 31 last year with offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. And the biggest thing was the role. The role completely dropped. It became a true 50-50 split backfield with Zach Charbonnet. Walker played barely, not even 50% of the snaps, barely got 50% of the opportunities in terms of targets and carries. And as far as red zone touches goes, he got 36 red zone touches, just 24th in the NFL. The goal line, a lot of red zone work was going to Zach Charbonnet. So Kenneth Walker, as a whole last year until the playoffs, was pretty disappointing from a fantasy perspective. But then in the playoffs, you probably know how it goes from now. He had the big game against San Francisco in round 1 with 3 touchdowns, 116 yards. A nice game when you factor in his receiving. He had another 100 total yards, 20 plus touches, and a touchdown in that divisional
Got his
round.
first quarterback, and it was Dino Jones, bro.
And then
What
in
are
the
you
Super
doing?
Bowl, he goes out there and has a massive game, 30 plus touches, 130.
Don't grab him. I'll let Javonte fall to me.
Winning Super Bowl MVP in a relatively boring
Just let him
Super
fall to
Bowl
me.
game. And then at that point, when you're
Motherfucker.
Super Bowl MVP, when you come on in the postseason, when your main
Motherfucker.
competition back Charbonnet tears his ACL, you have a lot of leverage. The Seahawks didn't want to re-sign him. He ends up going to free agency and signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's where Kenneth Walker got a bag. $45 million deal with $28.7 million guaranteed. Now top
With the
5
most money available.
money amongst running backs, so that's good to see. And at the exact same time that they signed Kenneth Walker, their other running backs leave their backfield. Isaiah Pacheco ends up going to Detroit on a 1-year deal for $1.8 million, likely to be Jahmyr Gibbs' backup. And overall, now if you look at the team changes tracker here for the Kansas City Chiefs, in general, Like, they add Kenneth Walker, they add Amari DiMercado. Okay, there's their free agency additions. You're not going to have Isaiah Pacheco on the team anymore. Most likely, Kareem Hunt hasn't signed with any team. Most likely, he's not going to be on the team. And they draft a 5th-round running back in Emmett Johnson. So the competition for Kenneth Walker, who, again, is getting top 5 guaranteed money at the running back position, they're invested a ton into him. He's in the prime of his career at 25 years old. The biggest competition, a 5th-round rookie, Emmett Johnson, a 5th-rounder in a weak running back draft class, by the way. So in a good running back draft class, might not even have been drafted. Probably would have been like 6th or 7th round. Rashard Smith, a second-year player, 7th-round pick, like a wide receiver running back hybrid. And Amari DiMercado, who's always been like a nice pass-catching running back, was with the Cardinals the last couple of seasons. But again, he's RB27. He's 27 years old. He'll be competing for like the RB3 job on this roster. It's easily the Kenneth Walker show, assuming he can stay healthy. And we should call out that Kareem Hunt, like the last time Patrick Mahomes had a 1,000-yard rusher who ended up being a top 5 fantasy running back was Kareem Hunt all the way back in 2017. In that season, Kareem Hunt had over 1,300 rushing yards, had 53 catches for 455 yards. He had almost 1,900 total yards. He was a top 5 running back. So if Kenneth Walker can get unlocked as a pass catcher, there's all the upside in the world for him to once again be a top 10 RB. And the Chiefs do want to run the ball. Like last year, this was a team that ranked bottom 10. This is a rankings of the bottom 10 teams overall in rush attempts per game. They were bottom 10 in that category. We know they want to run the ball, especially with Patrick Mahomes coming off of a torn ACL and Travis Kelce aging. Like this isn't the once explosive offense with Tyreek Hill and a prime Travis Kelce that it used to be. It's not. You're going to get a Rashee Rice in the middle of the field who won't create a lot of explosive plays, mostly just yards after the catch ability if he's in open space, not really downfield usage, and maybe some deep shot connections if Patrick Mahomes is healthy with Xavier Worthy. But I think this is going to be a run-first team, and as you can see here on Twitter, according to the GL Grind, he said that Kenneth Walker went on the Up and Adam show and hinted that he may be used more as a receiver with the Chiefs. He said, we've been working on getting connected in the passing game and everything, so that's good. I feel like I'll be used more in the pass game.
I've got a second, bro, Gino. Both on the same bye week, bro.
If he does, that's amazing. But
what are you doing?
What he was doing with Ryan Grubb in Seattle in 2024, where he's catching 40 to 50 balls, that's where he
I don't know, man.
Next level of like a top.
Gotta have security quarterback, especially on a 2-quarterback league.
Just in his prime, he came out as a younger running back from
Michigan
State, so still in his prime, but just 25 years old when this season will start. He's coming off of a Super Bowl MVP season. In my opinion, zero competition in this backfield. He goes right now in the early 3rd round of fantasy drafts, 26th overall. That's awesome. Like, if he's your
I kind of want the Rome combo.
RB1, you start wide receiver, tight end. Kenneth Walker in the 3rd round. I assume he'll be a 2nd-round pick by the time August comes around. But in the 3rd round, it's hard not to like Kenneth Walker. Before we keep going, 2 seconds, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this content. It really goes a long way in helping me out. Let's
get I think I get Jameson Williams and Rome Odunze. Maybe.
Scadaboo. He only played 8 games last year in his rookie season because of injury with the New York Giants. Only played 8 games, had over 100 rush attempts. But really, if you look at Cam Scadaboo, like his overall yardage last year on per game basis,
let's just go.
Rushing yards, 26 receiving yards per game, so almost
yards
per game as a rookie who only played half a season due to his ankle dislocation. If you look at the 6 games where he was playing like a full-time role,
I'm looking at Rome.
Got the game where he got injured in, and the first game of the year where he didn't get a ton of work as a rookie in his first ever game. Those 6 other games from like week 2 to 7 last year, 19.5 fantasy points per game on 16 carries per game was the Giants' clear RB1, and he just does it as a pass catcher. Like, we know this based on what he did in college, right? His final year of college at Arizona State, college football playoff.
Week 13 is rough for you. I just said that.
1,700 rushing yards, was a monster, and he also ended up having 45 catches, was 2nd on the team behind Jordan Tyson that year with 605 receiving yards and a 14% target share. This guy came out as a very good, agile player in between the tackles on the ground and a very strong pass-catching running back. He is the fantasy cheat code for an offense. He'll get the red zone usage because he has the size. He's a good to great running back on the ground and a great pass-catching running back. If he is healthy week 1, the sky's the limit for Cam Scadaboo. And according to Deepak Chona over on Twitter, he says that Cam Scadaboo will likely be ready by OTAs. The data favors a 20% dip the first 12 months after the surgery. So by the time like week 7 or so comes back around when he tore his ACL, he should be 100%. For that first month and a half of the season, he might be like a 10 to 20% dip in his performance, which is fine because he's not going as like a 2nd-round fantasy pick. We'll show you where he's going in a second. But I think it's very important to call out that the reason why Cam Scadaboo is so appealing to me is because the Giants were linked to a couple of running backs this offseason. Kenneth Walker in free agency, Travis Etienne in free agency, Jeremiah Love in the draft. But what did they do in free agency? Nothing. They didn't add a single running back. What did they do in the NFL draft? Nothing. They didn't add a single running back. If anything, they added a first-round tackle, Francis Mauanoa, who maybe will play guard this year. We'll see what happens. But the offensive line
risky,
should
brother.
be improved. Other than that, like they ended up adding a fullback in Patrick Ricard. Maybe that helps them if he's going to be out there in some like jumbo formations, I formations. But for the most part, Cam Skattebo dodged any competition, which means that his competition will be the exact same as it was last year. A 28, nearly 29-year-old Devin Singletary, a 26-year-old Tyron Tracy Jr., who Cam Skattebo beat out pretty easily last year, although Tyron was dealing with some injuries. And then there's Cam Skattebo himself. So I do think Tyron Tracy will be involved, especially maybe the first month of the season when Cam Skattebo is still kind of getting back to 100% from the injury. But in my opinion, Skattebo is the far superior runner compared to Tyron Tracy, and potentially even a far superior pass catcher, even though Tracy has the background of being a former receiver in college. Also worth pointing out that his new head coach is John Harbaugh. So outside of the situation staying the same in terms of competition, improving potentially because of like what the offense might look like under a new offensive coordinator, and more importantly, the offensive line might be better this year. You have John Harbaugh here, who, if you look at it his last 3 seasons, I mean, he's been one of the most run-heavy coaches in the NFL. Check this out. In 2023, the Ravens ranked first in rushing yards and first in rush attempts. In 2024, they ranked second in rush attempts and first in rushing yards. And in 2025, the Ravens ranked third in rush attempts.
Dude,
and
one
second in
quarterback?
rushing yards.
What are we doing?
All of those obviously under John Harbaugh.
What are we doing?
You might say, oh, but they had a mobile quarterback and they had a workhorse running back in Derrick Henry. Yeah, well,
how'd you get that,
a
bro?
mobile quarterback in Jackson Dart and a potential workhorse in Cam Skattebo, at least based on what he did in college. And it's pretty crazy because under Brian Dable last year, because of a mobile quarterback, they had a load, and because Malik Neighbors got hurt, right? So the number 1 receiver's gone. They already were the number 2 team in rush attempts per game. So now you're just going to add John Harbaugh in there. If Cam Skattebo stays healthy, this should be a situation where you're going to be getting a lot of upside for Cam Skattebo entering year 2. It's really just going to come down to health. You're also going to get Malik Neighbors back, who's coming back from his own ACL tear and some meniscus damage. So once he comes back, the offense maybe gets a little bit more efficient, moves the ball better, helps Jackson Dart, gets to the red zone, more overall touches and touchdown opportunities for Cam Skattebo. So as of right now, Cam Skattebo goes as a 4th round pick. So even if he's not 100% healthy like the first month of the season, which again, there is a chance that he is 100% healthy during that month of the season. He is a younger player coming back from a dislocated ankle and fractured, I think, fibula, I believe. So look, Cam Skattebo,
They want Pierce way up there.
Somebody who could definitely win you your league, especially in the late 4th round. And before we get into the next running back who can win you your league, if you want to get the fantasy blueprint, now's the time to do so. It is the proven system for helping you win your fantasy league. Over 10,000 people have used it the past couple of years to win more fantasy.
I wanted
leagues.
DK, and now he's gone.
My fantasy leagues last year,
And that's a bullshit.
A $10,000 first contest that I won against other fantasy experts, scored the most points in the regular season and the playoffs. The fantasy blueprint is the tools that I use in all my leagues, and over 10,000 people are currently using. So if you want to get those, if you want to stop finishing in 4th or missing your playoffs or being worried about last place, be sure to get the fantasy blueprint. It is currently at the lowest price. It will be all summer, so take advantage at jointheblueprint.com, or you can click the link in the description below. It will take you to this page where you can watch this video to learn more about the blueprint, and there's a lot of information here exactly on what you'll get. There's real life testimonials from people who have used the blueprint to win for not just 1 year, but multiple years, winning multiple leagues. So you can check it out there. It is battle tested. It is a proven system. Now, the next running back who I believe can definitely help you win fantasy leagues this year is going to be Ashton Jeanty, a 2nd-year player. Last year, coming out of Boise State with the Raiders, he went in the 1st round, a top 10 pick. A lot of people liked him. A lot of people took him in the 1st or early 2nd round in fantasy. And for a lot of people, he probably disappointed. Now, overall, like, number 1 opportunity share, had no competition, top 5 in running back snap share. And on the season, like, it wasn't a bad year in terms of accounting numbers. Between his overall rushing yards of 975, albeit just 3.7 yards per carry behind a terrible offensive line, and 55 catches for 346 yards, you're talking about a guy who had like 1,300 total yards, 50 plus catches, 10 touchdowns. That's a pretty solid season. Ended up averaging 4.4
wide receiver, tight end.
Relative to where he
I
was
don't have
taken
to.
as a 1st or 2nd round fantasy pick, finishing as the RB15. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. But as you can see right here from No Expert FS on Twitter, like last year's Raiders offense.
Bro, I'm tired of it telling me about Carter's, bro.
PFF, they gave up 47 sacks, the most by 12 total sacks. They ranked 32nd overall. So just brutal. Like, look at this right here. This is according to Sharp Football Analysis. The Raiders allowed the highest stuff rate in the NFL. 25% of their running back runs were just stuffed at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. Yards before contact per rush attempt for running back last year, the Raiders had the 2nd worst. Barely a half a yard before contact until they were getting hit. So this offensive line was just atrocious last year. The coaching staff was brutal. That's why their coaching staff was one and done and completely gone. Their best offensive piece in Brock Bowers got hurt. They traded away their 2nd best offensive piece in Jacoby Myers, at least from a pass catcher perspective. So Geno Smith was screwed, and it was that was history at that point. But despite all this, you still had Ashton Jeanty doing Ashton Jeanty things, just breaking tackles, top 5 in that. His juke rate was top 5 as well in the NFL last year as a rookie. He was fantastic. And don't forget how good he was in college. 2,600 rushing yards, 7 yards per attempt despite having almost 400 carries, 30 touchdowns, also caught passes, including the year before that in his junior year back in 2023. He caught 43 balls.
I'd love to shut it off, bro.
Yards and a 13% target share. Like, this is a true 3-down back. There's a reason why he went in the top 10 of the NFL draft last year, and now the entire situation, at least on paper, looks massively improved. You get the Seahawks offensive coordinator who won a Super Bowl last year to now join as the head coach and play caller. This was a guy who led the Seahawks to being a top 3 rushing offense last year in terms of carries and yards per game, and according to
tight ends are dropping
rushing offense. But it doesn't stop there, because the Las Vegas Raiders also added the #1 player, in my opinion, overall across offense and defense in free agency.
They both have tight ends, so I'm gonna daddy chill here. I'm gonna take a wide receiver.
They added quarterbacks as well. Kirk Cousins, the veteran, might start the season, and Fernando Mendoza overall. So hopefully the run game,
I like rookie
pass
Bristol.
game is better under that, and the run game should be better when you're going to get Colton Miller back from injury, your best offensive lineman, and you bring in now Tyler Linderbaum, who, depending on the stats that you look at, was either top 2 or top 3, and basically
now let me get
run blocking grade
Dalton Kincaid
efficiency metric last year. So when you factor in these quarterbacks, hopefully your #1 overall pick gives you a floor better than what Geno Smith was giving you last year, or just a veteran in Kirk Cousins provides stability to start the year. But then you look at the competition.
Back-to-back running backs.
It's just Mike Washington Jr., a rookie, a later round rookie who's like an athletic freak. Don't get me wrong, but overall, I'm looking at this and I'm saying Ashton Jeanty, a top 10 overall pick, is just going to absolutely run the ball nonstop in this Clint Kubiak offense. Like, sure, Clint Kubiak split the backfield with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet last year. Both of those were second-round picks, relatively equal talents. There's nowhere near a similar talent level, in my opinion, between Ashton Jeanty and Mike Washington. Sure, Mike Washington is a freak in terms of size, speed, but in terms of, like, a pure runner and pass catcher,
grab Kirk Cousins or something, bro.
It's not even close. I don't even think that's a hot take. I think many of you would agree. So, to me, Ashton Jeanty, who you can currently get in the second round of drafts, depending on the sites that you look at, he either goes as, like, the 11th overall pick. But
grab another tight end. And then back on the wide receivers.
When you pull in some more sites, I think they're pulling in 2 separate sites. When you pull in some more early sites, Jeanty usually is between pick 14 and 16 in fantasy drafts, at least early on. That's awesome to me. If you have a late first-round pick this year and you're scooping up guys like, I don't know, maybe a combination of Justin Jefferson and Ashton Jeanty, to me that feels like a great way to win some fantasy leagues. Or heck, if you want to start running back, and get James Cook and Ashton Jeanty, or Ashton Jeanty and A-Chain, or Ashton Jeanty and Saquon Barkley, all these feel pretty strong. Like an Ashton Jeanty, Saquon Barkley build, you might just be securing 700 total touches between the 2 of those guys. That's a possibility this year. So these have been the 5 running backs who could help you win the fantasy football league this year. Now, if you want to see the 7 wide receivers who could absolutely break fantasy this year, be sure to check out this video. It's going to be very important. If you're in a fantasy football league, you are in the right place, because today we are breaking down the 7 wide receivers who could actually break fantasy football this year. Now, if you're not familiar, I'm Sal Vetri. I've helped over 10,000 people win their fantasy league the last few seasons alone, and I plan to do the same for you with this video. Let's start with Christian Watson. Christian Watson, who is in a Packers wide receiver room that for like the first time since he's been in the NFL, so we're talking 4+ years now, is basically thinned out. Let's show it right here. On the team changes tracker, you could see what happened this offseason in Green Bay. They're going to say in real life that they got better addition by subtraction. I'm not too sure I agree with that overall, but look at all these subtractions. This is just on the offensive side of the ball, the team changes tracker. They lose backup quarterback Malik Willis. Okay, that was expected. They lose some offensive linemen in Rasheed Walker and Elkin Jenkins, both starters.
Tight end first.
But in terms of Christian Watson, they lose Romeo Doubs and Dontavian Wicks. Those are 2 massive pieces of the offense, and they only replace those guys with Sky Moore, who's mostly like a special teams gadget guy at best.
I'm going to Hunter Henry.
So what does this lead to? Well, according to 4for4, as you can see right here, vacated targets, the Packers rank 4th as of right now this offseason, 4th in available target share, meaning 37% of their targets last year, mostly from Wicks, mostly from Romeo Doubs, a little bit the running back Emmanuel Wilson, but those wide receivers, 37% of the targets are now available. And that also includes 50% of this team's targets inside the 10-yard line, where Romeo Doubs was always pretty money and one of the most, if not most trusted option for Jordan Love in the big moments, which is in the red zone, in the 10-yard line zone, right? That green zone, the money zone, if you will. The end zone, 3rd downs, 4th downs in the playoffs. He was always going Romeo Doubs' way. So the Packers didn't really replace those guys with anybody. Sure, Tucker Kraft was going to come back. He was arguably the best tight end in football when he was healthy last year. He was the best pass catcher on the Packers when he was healthy last year. year before suffering a torn ACL, dealing with another knee injury earlier on in the season.
And
In
right.
his 8 games played, where some of these he was limited or left early, he earned a nice 44
Wow, you took my
targets.
guy.
He had massive games as early as like the second game
Wow.
of the season. If you pull it up here on Thursday
Okay.
night against the Commanders, first game of the year, scores a touchdown, but then he really starts to break out. That massive game of 24 points, continues to have some nice performances. 143-yard game with multiple touchdowns, 33
Wow.
fantasy points. Unfortunately, the next week is when he ends up tearing the ACL
Motherfucker.
and just goes down for the year. I think that might
That
have been
motherfucker.
the exact same game where they lost Micah Parsons. Might have been a week later.
Should have, would have probably taken a tight end.
Regardless, you
Lock
now
it out.
have Christian Watson as the de facto on paper number one
I
receiver,
lock it
for Jordan
out.
Love, who just continues
I
to
lock
get
it
better.
out.
It seems like every single year, especially in extra situations when the other team is blitzing, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. 66% completion percentage was a career high last year on 439 attempts. So we saw the Packers still these last 2 seasons since they've had Josh Jacobs.
I think we just
Run first
solidified
team.
quarterback and tight end right here.
Again this year, lean on Josh Jacobs and that running game. Maybe Marshawn Lloyd gets healthy and can be the backup and get involved there for the Packers. But when they do pass the ball, and they'll be passing the ball 400 to 450 times this year, this is probably going to be their 3 wide receiver sets. Jaden Reed, who they just gave an extension to. Matthew Golden, the rookie who had a hot playoff game and, you know, overall in his rookie season wasn't the best, but he should be taking a big step forward, at least opportunity-wise this year. And then Christian Watson, who was like their guy last year. All things considered, only played 10 games.
Let
Every
Juwan
year, this
trickle
guy's
on
dealing
down.
with different injuries. Last year, it finally wasn't the hamstring, but he was dealing with other lower body injuries. So you could see in those 10 games, 611 yards, a couple of big performances. But more importantly, when he came back healthy and Jaden Reed was still kind of banged up and Tucker Kraft's season was already over, they leaned heavily on Christian Watson. And when he came back from weeks 11 to 17, those 7 games, over 15 fantasy points per game, was a top 20 fantasy receiver on 6 targets per game. He was fine in the end zone nonstop as well. Watson at his best last year. The Packers are lucky that they signed him to a 1-year extension before the season because he probably would have been getting that Alec Pierce $30 million bag this offseason. Yet Watson now in a contract year, and he should see more targets, which 167 targets available from last year's guys leaving. Now, we did mention Jaden Reed. I do think that he's also going to be somebody who obviously benefits. The Packers did not draft a wide receiver during the NFL draft. The only thing they did was re-sign Jaden Reed. They extended him actually in a contract year, 3-year extension for $50 million. They knew that his contract was coming up. They knew that Christian Watson's at the end of this year was going to come up. So they took care of Jaden Reed. We'll see what they do with Watson, if they're going to try and get something done during the season, more likely after the season. But I mean, Jaden Reed is a guy who should now see a lot more usage in 2 wide receiver sets, which means he should benefit. Overall, all these Packers starters, including Matthew Golden, are winners here, are potential breakout players. But I'll be taking the guy who we've seen do it multiple times with different quarterbacks. Whether it was Aaron Rodgers in his final year, if it was Jordan Love last year when Christian Watson was healthy, he's been the guy, the obvious number 1. As of right now, Watson goes in like the 6th or 7th round of fantasy drafts as the 70th overall player. Feels a little bit low. Like he's in the same range as Jordan Tyson, whereas Jordan Tyson, although I really like Jordan Tyson, I like the upside there, he'll be battling with Chris Olave as the wide receiver 1, where Christian Watson, to me, feels like he should have a pretty strong cap on the target share there, although Tucker Kraft will be coming back. So 70th overall feels a little bit weak. If I had to pull up where he lands on my top 250 early rankings, these are the best ball rankings in the fantasy blueprint. As you can see here, Watson is currently my 57th overall player as of this recording. His ADP, like we just showed you, is around 70 or 71 depending on the site. So I'm about 14 to 15 draft spots, so over a round to maybe even a round and a half ahead of consensus on Christian Watson. I think he obviously, in my opinion, has all of the tools to be the next breakout player who breaks fantasy football. One could argue he's already done that, including in his rookie season when he was healthy. All right, next up, let's go to Malik Neighbors, who has definitely had a breakout season. We've already seen him break fantasy football in his rookie year, where he earned 170 targets despite not having the greatest quarterback play overall. But in terms of Malik Neighbors, like, there's a lot to like with Malik Neighbors, right? Last year, obviously, you only get the 4 games played. He tears his ACL. In those 4 games, though, including the 4th one where he left it early, he still earned 35 targets during that time. Started the season off extremely hot. Right, Russell Wilson's the quarterback during this stretch. 12 targets, 13 targets in an overtime game where he has 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. A monster game, massive receptions in that one. Then he gets 7 targets, and then against the Chargers is where he tears the ACL after having 3 targets, and I believe Jackson Dart started this game. So he never really got going with Jackson Dart, didn't have the opportunity. Malik Neighbors now, coming off of this torn ACL, you can see right here, it takes on average 10 to 11 months to recover, according to Deepak Chona. So he should be ready, right? Week 1 is definitely in play. If it's 10 to 11 months, he tore the ACL in October. We're assuming that he should be ready for September. We don't really know about training camp. It's unlikely. But most wide receivers, he say, will take 4 to 6 weeks to ramp up. The good news for Malik Neighbors is he's a younger wide receiver. Maybe that 4 to 6 weeks will already be happening in August for him if he's ahead of schedule, which as of right now, the reports, we don't have anything updated on that. It just seems like nothing out of the ordinary, at least right now. But if we can get Malik Neighbors playing as soon as week 1, even if it's not till like week 2 or week 3, all the upside in the world, because we saw it in the rookie year, although a different quarterback and a different coaching staff, Brian Dale, right? We still saw the 170 targets. We saw all the talent as to why he was an early first round pick, 1,200 receiving yards as a rookie, and that bad Giants offense. And if anything, you could say a Jackson Dart, I assume, is an upgrade. Like, we at least know he's going to be out there. Russell Wilson wasn't great last year, but he was just...
For me, I really like corn.
What do you like about corn?
It's cold! A big corn that knobs. It has the juice.
They don't have a lot of other target competition. Wandale Robinson was there eating up targets, but nobody else. And even now, Wandale Robinson is gone. Because the Giants' current wide receiver room, as of this recording, besides Malik Neighbors, is these guys. Like, Darius Slayton is still there. Darnell Mooney, they signed this offseason. Ray McCloud, they signed this offseason, like a slot gadgety guy, right? Spent some time, I believe, with the Steelers and definitely the Falcons. So, like, you're going to have Darius Slayton on the outside. Maybe, like, it's kind of weird now. You have, like, these 3 outside receivers. I assume Mooney would move into the slot in 3 wide receiver sets unless they put Neighbors there more, which would only probably benefit his role overall. So you could see right here, the Giants this offseason, they ended up losing Wandale Robinson, who's had 140 targets in back-to-back seasons. He's gone, so a lot of target share opportunity there. They bring in Calvin Austin.
Anthony Richardson, look at him digging deep. They're digging deep.
Overthink less. Chew good. Orbit gum.
Papa.
Walker putting on weight. Walker putting on weight to help dominate in 2026. And these 3 running backs right here, I just scour the running back player pool and I say, what running backs are just going to hit home runs from their ADP? And this is not exclusive to these 3 gentlemen. Of course, we love other players. Hendy, I think, is going to explode based on ADP. Scadaboo could go on a tear. We love Bashal, the facial tootin' up in this mug. But these specific running backs, and we lead with Kenneth Walker because the news of him putting on some extra LBs, just beefing up, ready to rumble, ready to take the league by storm, ready to have that Priest Holmes type touchdown production over in KC. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Skywalker is ready for takeoff. But these 3 running backs specifically right now in this moment, given their cost of entry, again, not exclusive to other running backs. We can talk about running backs all day long. These 3 guys, for whatever reason, have ADP value that they can trump by twofold. They can be 2 times better than their ADP cost right now. Walker going in round 2 can be top 5 for all running backs. Could be top 5 or 6 overall in fantasy.
What's wrong with the audio, bro?
Jadarian Price, who's going in the 5
Can we turn it up?
territory, the sweet spot for him. 3rd in dynasties.
Stop
A little
suggesting
high.
things,
4th
man.
is beautiful in dynasty. It depends where you get Price in dynasty, but from a redraft perspective.
All right, so we got a
This guy's
running back
Jadarian Price is
and a
winning.
wide receiver. These are our longer shot guys.
Price is winning leagues. Walker's winning leagues. And Jeremiah Love at the 2-3 turn. What in the hell's wrong with people? That show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks. Kenneth Skywalker. Kenneth Lightsaber swinging Skywalker.
Bro, what?
Quadruple J and Consultants.
Did you make a mess on the field? Don't fret. Call the cleanup crew. Call Quadruple J and Consultants.
Locations on Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter.
The cleanup crew is going to do more than just clean up. They're going to make a mess on the way. The way in the door. Cleanup crew's making a mess on the way in the door. Then they'll clean it up. Don't worry. No questions asked. But this guy, Kenneth Walker, might be walking into a 13-plus, great, nice job. Walking into a 13-plus touchdown rushing season. Like rushing touchdowns might be in the 12-13 ballpark. This will be one of those, okay, they're on the 10, they're at the 10 or inside the 10-yard line, and it's just a sweep or a Walker plunge up the A gap or B gap. But this is a man that will probably sleepwalk into a floor of 10 touchdowns. 10 touchdowns rushing, and then maybe 2 to 3 receiving. 13 total would be his floor, but I'm thinking this is more of a 13-14 rushing touchdown season for Kenneth Walker, as long as he stays healthy. But guess what? There's a solution to that. Just like there's a flux capacitor solution for a DeLorean, there's a handcuff solution for Kenneth Walker. Emmett Johnson is just a supreme athlete that was handcrafted,
Emmanuel
handpicked,
Wilson's still
hand-selected
available?
to
Probably
be
not,
the
right?
heir apparent of
No.
Kenneth Walker. And yeah, we heard some great gushing reviews of Brashard Smith, and Reed would come out and say things like, Brashard Smith is going to get so many carries this week. We've been building him up. We love him. And then he doesn't do anything. So, you know, we've heard this song and dance by Reed before, but I believe because we watch Emmett Johnson, we love Emmett Johnson, we think he's an absolute gem. And landing in this situation, if Walker would have missed 2 or 3 games, Emmett would step in no problem.
All right.
And it's one of the most important handcuffs in fantasy football, period.
All right, back in.
But if healthy, Walker's 13 to 14 rushing touchdowns, we'll just put this at 13 plus just to simplify it.
Bang.
And you cuff him.
Right back in.
You know, make sure you are cuffing
Here's the top 2.
this man no matter
This is the top
what
2.
at all costs. Reach around over
Top
ADP on Emmett Johnson to make sure. If you walk out of your
Give us
draft
top
without
2.
Kenneth Walker and Emmett Johnson, if you are a Kenneth Walker drafter, you missed the memo, son. You didn't get the memo, and no cake for you. You know, this is the stapler to Milton, Milton to the stapler. This is the Finkel and Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. You need to have Walker and Emmett Johnson, plain and simple, just as much as you need to have Bucky and Gainwell and Tucker, or Coleman and Harvey, or McCaffrey in both Niner backs. There's no negotiation. And there's no, hey, Smitty, do I cuff everybody? No, that's why I have the cuff board. It's a ranking. Anybody on the cuff board ranked right here, 1 through 7,
Oh, I got the 2,
and
bro.
a couple others that we'll dive into, are must-have handcuffs. You don't need Sampson to Judkins. You don't need Randall to Henry. You don't even know. I mean, it's a decent idea if you get downstream in your draft and they're sitting there. You know, Woody Marks to Monty. We don't know if Houston can block for Monty. They didn't
Oh,
block
it's
for
being
Marks
ridiculous
last
right
year.
now.
So, like, none of these cuffs are a guarantee help. And anybody that says Monungai Swift, why isn't that there? Because Monungai isn't even a cuff. Swift might be the cuff to Monungai. So I don't want to hear none of that. But we're sitting here looking at the cuff board. These are must-cuff situations. There's no negotiation. There's no Smitty. Maybe you should make sure you cuff it. And if you have to reach around early, reach around early. This man Walker is taking people to the promised land. This man Walker is an absolute Jupiter. extraordinaire.
Like Otto
And
Lamar for
Walker,
him.
I believe he's on the Mars men.
Yeah, whatever.
Maybe
The
Saturn.
Saturn men.
Take Lamb Jack.
Is he Moon?
Just hope he has the season we know he
Where's
can.
he at?
The Jupitermen.
Where's he at?
The Saturn men.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Did I take him off or something? What happened? What in the hell happened? Was that just we relished his name every day so much that we neglected to understand that he wasn't even on the boards? I don't know what the hell happened there. This seems blasphemous to Adam in May 25. This feels disgusting. Ma, cancel that rack of meatloaf. I don't deserve it. How the hell did I let this happen?
Alright, bro. I don't know, man. He's trying too hard. There we go.
Hey, Meta, play gorgeous.
About time. We got somebody worth watching on here. That guy's he's got numbers and shit, but it's kind of annoying to watch. So.
Are hyper coveted options in this one. However, Buffalo. The Vikings at the Jets is interesting because on one hand, I actually think that this could be a really.
So this guy, bro, he's got it made in the shade.
However,
this guy is partnered, I guess, with them, and they gave him just 2,500 credits to draft with. Like, wouldn't that be fucking nice? Here I am, nickel and diamond with 22 bucks.
Has one of the best defenses. At least the scheme is elite. And down the stretch last year, if you were playing the Vikings, your offense was dog shit. So I don't want any Jets in this format. Fuck that. I don't want the Jets at home against Minnesota.
No.
I also don't really want this game, the Seahawks at Carolina. Both of those defenses are the main mover.
All right, I think we're going quarterback, running back.
Don't really trust the Panthers offense against the Seahawks defense, and then even Carolina.
Do I take one of these guys or drop down to Henry?
Sam Darnold. So I'll
I like Henry this year.
But I'm not going to be
see what happens.
Super high on Carolina. The Raiders at Cardinals. Now that one's interesting. Indoor game, so that's good. But the Cardinals offense is tricky. Carson Beck expected to be the guy. I would like to start Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, though. I think the Raiders at Arizona should be a juicy matchup. This one, though, this next one is probably the best one of the afternoon.
We take a quarterback.
Chicago, the over-under at 49.5. That's absolutely a game you want.
We got one behind us.
So we will give a little bonus.
I feel like if I want Henry, I can go quarterback first.
And Bears, and then the Eagles at the Niners. That one should be really interesting. Sunday Night Football. Niners defense shouldn't be as good this year, but the Eagles defense is typically very good under Vic Fangio. They have a lot of good players, and then it's not like
we want mobility. I think
healthy at the end of the season. They have a very
we want mobility.
Multiple international games. I think the Mexico City game.
Now I think we look at a
difficult teams.
Possible Derrick Henry.
So I will be honest with you.
Genty should be gone. Yeah.
The Niners, I actually see them as a team that might break
Derrick
down
Henry.
Over time. Just might not be fully healthy.
With the Lamb Jack Henry stack. So anything rushing wise,
I do kind of
scoring
a little bit
in Baltimore, we should get.
About the Niners, but the Eagles should be pretty solid in this matchup. I don't love their previous matchups to get there. On Monday, we have the Texans at the Packers. That game.
See what we're falling around here for the next
be honest
one.
With you. The Packers.
Eek.
January.
We got to get one more quarterback, I think, just to solidify the quarterback position. This is a weird setup. For those of you that don't know, this is not your standard best ball.
This game finished 13-10. I would hit.
You got a super flex here, and that can be a quarterback. So you got to get quarterbacks locked in. 13 and 10.
Week 17. So the only player I think kind of benefits in this.
Willis Falls, maybe him. Get the mobility factor as well. Cam Ward, though, I think he's going to have a year. So if not, we'll grab Cam Ward with our first.
In this matchup. Really good.
And then we're going to be looking at.
And the weather might just derail every big drive. So I
Running
worry
back,
about that one. I
probably.
think we're going
Running
to fade
back.
Green Bay and Houston in this contest, and in general on
I
Underdog.
think we'll be
Obviously,
looking at
what he's
running
made
back.
in Week 17. But then we have the flex
We
games.
can't go
The
week
flex
13,
games are
so Brees
definitely
Hall is not an
interesting
option.
and should be a little bit more coveted
I think we're looking
because
at
the NFL
Kyron and
already knows
Javante with our
these are
next running
games we
back
kind of
pick.
want to put on Saturday.
So
and
we're
we're
going
expecting
quarterback,
a
running
great,
back yet
great
again.
matchup. Captain Spock in here. What's up? It says KC at the Chargers. That's definitely one. What's
Simply
up,
because of
Napalm?
supply and demand.
You're
Quarterbacks
right.
are going.
We got
Running backs
Denver
are
at New
going.
England. Weather
You
should
want to
be a
make sure
problem.
you have starters
I
in
don't know
all
if
spots.
Massachusetts in January is ideal. Probably not the end of the world,
I
but
mean, look at
Denver has a
quarterbacks fly.
shutdown
I mean,
defense, so I could see
we're
Surtain
almost out of starting
with AJ
quarterbacks.
Brown. I think today we're not going to care too much about
Oh,
AJ Brown.
shit.
It's different. In Best Ball Mania, you at least make 37.50
So quick. Look at
to
him
make
go,
it to the
man.
final.
There goes
In this
Willis.
contest, you only
So
make
we're not
$10
getting him.
minimum. So we'll see what happens, but I think today
I hope Cam
I'm
Ward
gonna
is
grab
there
AJ Brown.
because I kind of don't
This
want
Chiefs at
Stroud.
Chargers game should be very fun. I've mentioned it before on the channel. Travis
My drink
Kelce
is empty.
owns this matchup, so that's definitely a good spot. And then the Chargers, I
Bruh,
think,
look at these
will be in
quarterbacks.
line to win the
They're
division
gone, bro.
and very competitive down the stretch. So
It's
I do like
crazy.
both of these teams. Probably a game that
These drafts are like the
decides
wild, wild
who will
west.
have home field
These
advantage
super
in
flexes.
the playoffs. So I like both of these. Both of these teams will favor Chiefs and Chargers, and then Rams at Tampa. That's a pretty good one. Tampa, Florida, in January. It is an outdoor game, but I don't think it's really one that concerns me. I don't think it's going to be super cold or raining. More likely than not, it's just a high-scoring game. Over under at 40.
How do you know whether it's raining?
Definitely one I would like. The Rams
7
and
months
the
out,
Colts.
brother.
Not a bad spot. But the
Let's talk about it.
Commanders at the Jags. That one should be really fun. I don't see the Commanders having much of a defense this year. The Jags sometimes really do step up on defense, but I think at the very
Alright, this
least,
guy might fuck
the
me and
Jaguars
take Ward.
offense should be pretty
Hoping
good.
if he does
Should
take
be able
anyone,
to
he's taking
contain.
Stroud.
It'll probably be a pretty competitive
Don't
game.
ruin
Maybe
our
not,
plan, JoJo. Don't do it,
down
brother.
to the wire. Maybe the Jags win by like 10. However, I think it should be worth our while. Should be worth our time.
Alright,
Wanted to bring that up.
don't do
Definitely
it.
valuable
We're just
information.
going
I think if
to
you're gonna
hold this
play
open here
Underdog
because it's what's
and
happening.
assume that you're going to be taking down some contests, if you have not spent some time
Yep,
looking
don't
at
do
the
it.
schedule, I think you're probably doing yourself a disservice. So
Don't do it, brother.
hopefully that wasn't too long committed to it, but it's very valuable information and definitely.
I kind of talked him out of it there,
good to
subliminally.
know
He
to
knew.
set our sights on this contest. A reminder:
Malik Neighbors is lingering.
940 people make the final in week 17.
Lingering.
And about 300 of them only get $10. If you don't finish top 30, you're not getting more
Bruh.
than $1,000.
I gotta go
And
running back.
honestly,
Who took
even
Javante
top
Williams
50
already,
at
bro?
500
What the
is
fuck?
kind of like the minimum to feel great about your return on this contest. If
Damn.
you max this
Okay.
and you finish 76,
It's alright, still
you'll
works
get
out for
100 bucks
us.
back. That can't be great.
Now I
You
feel
know,
like we're looking at running back, wide
it's not
receiver here.
ideal. It is what it is. You take the risk, you try and win it all.
DeAndre
but,
Swift right here wouldn't be a
let's try
bad
and
spot.
plan to get some of these big payouts, shall we? Let's hope for even third place, 15K. That's
DeAndre
pretty good.
Swift
Yo, thank you, Jamie,
and a Zay Flowers.
joining the blunt
Sheesh.
rotation.
Probably not. All right.
Appreciate it. We are going to be hopping in. What's
That'd
up,
be
Disband?
pretty cool
What's
though,
up, Key
because
Joe?
you'd have the
What up,
Lamar
Blazer?
Jackson
I think
link.
it's a good time. My boy, thanks for the info. Hell yeah.
That'd be
Keep giving me
huge.
the emojis. I think it's definitely time. We took, what, 12 minutes to go through
This guy
that?
behind me need.
Definitely worth it. All right, if you
He's
are
got one running back.
ready,
He's got 2 wide
if
receivers.
you got something to smoke with me,
So I
got
would
a
have to take,
red
bruh.
lighter today, and I'm here for it. So
I would have to take
smoke
the
a good
running
guy.
back because he'd probably take it.
Let's pump that gas, shall we? Let's go.
I mean, really, any of those 3 is that spot. I hate
Okay,
the Underdog
so
thinks it's okay to
we're
give me
ready. We're gonna hop into
notifications
Power
on here
Mania.
that are like
Hopefully no
10 picks
location
behind.
here tonight. I'll give you a quick 5-second countdown. At this point, you should be good to go. I will be joining in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's enter. We are hopping in the Pomeranian, and this instant filled. So y'all were on.
Oh, if you
Maybe
texted me,
this
I didn't see it.
contest is just instant filling. Typically, $3 contest that just dropped will have a lot of excitement. So I recognize Sosky. He's right next to me, of course.
It'd be really cool if like everyone
can't say
ran
the
on
difference between
quarterbacks all of a
other
sudden,
folks,
and that way my guys were there when it came time.
knowing that it instant filled, perhaps.
Just
y'all
reach.
are in the next one. But let me know if you're in here with me. Shout it out in the chat. And
What's he in?
if you'd like a team review, definitely I'm happy to give you a team review, my thoughts. And it does look like we did have a little overfill, unfortunately. So maybe next time I'll give you all a 10-second countdown. But bummer. Sorry about that, y'all. But it's not the end of the world for me. I don't mind it too much. Y'all make it more difficult. But pick 10.
He's not wrong.
Could be better.
Plenty of people know what they're doing.
The world.
It's kind of rough.
With the super chat, James
You want to kind of stack value. And if people know what value is,
smoke it. Appreciate you with the $2 donation. Let's rip it again.
man, the Zay stack would be nice. But I have to have running back. There was a running back. Damn it. There's one of our 3 right there. I wouldn't mind a scat or even a price, honestly. So I think I can wait and take Zay. But this guy's gonna fucking nom nom nom. This guy right here.
Let me know if it's too loud. I think I'm
one
gonna
running
bring
back.
it down a little bit. We're gonna go -40.
Brother, running backs are going. I might have to go running back. Look at him trickle. Look at him go.
I thought it was just a little too high.
These motherfuckers.
But interesting. James Cook off at the 107.
Go quarterback or something, bro. Reach down there.
Spot. We mentioned the Bills as a team to covet, but I also mentioned that Giants game against the Cowboys.
Zay is gone. You listening to me or something, motherfucker? JoJo, we got beef.
So.
We're beefing. All right, we'll take Swift. We'll just lock in our. We'll just go whatever wide receiver we feel like right here. Fuck.
So, ADP
I don't love that.
dictating where we go, but I think
don't really love that.
Or some running backs that are nice in the next round.
Man, I don't love our wide receivers here either.
I don't think I'm in love with Omarion Hampton though for week 17. I think Hampton's a guy that can help get you there, really produce well.
Bruh.
I think that Dolphins matchup the week before is going to be fucking lit. Hampton at the Dolphins should.
I'm gonna start with Mike Evans. That was a weird play I just made right there, but I see a world where he just gets a touchdown a game.
70 to.
If he ends the season with 15 touchdowns, it's a win for me.
A couple years ago, wasn't it something like that? Oh no, they won 70 to 25. Yeah, they hung 70 on Sean Payton. That's what it was. I could see him hang 70 on his former team.
What draft are they in?
Damn it, Derrick Henry goes. Curse you. That's a bummer. I mean, I like Hampton a lot, but historically, if you look at the matchup against the Chiefs' run defense, hasn't been good lately. The Chiefs have actually had a really elite run defense in terms
16
of
picks away.
Allowed. They don't give up much, but we do let the McCaffrey drafter take Saquon.
That is not a super flex.
That might be pretty good, but I'm willing to give it up. The Chiefs' run defense is actually really good. However, the Chargers' run defense at times has been one of the worst in the NFL. There have been instances when the Chargers' run defense cannot stop a soul. And without Jesse Minter, I am a little worried that the Chargers' defense takes a bit of a step back. They have been getting better under Jesse Minter. But even last year, there were instances where they were really vulnerable. There were times when
I don't know if that's how you spell
Chihuahua. JCM, they gave up like 2 untouched rushing touchdowns. One of JCM's biggest games was actually against the Chargers. I was there in person to witness it. So I'm a little worried they go back to that. That has been their weakness over the years. And if that is possible to happen again, it would definitely bode well for Kenneth Walker at the Chargers in week 17.
I might have to go wide receiver here.
2 indoor games, Cowboys at home against the Giants, and then the Chiefs on the road.
With Bo Nix, I wish Jalen Waddle would fall.
Jamie, I'm here with you, bro. Let's go to the loony bin together. I mean, I don't know about the loony bin. I don't know about that. I got some green line hash burger, 34.5% THC. 34.5. Send it. Damn. I kind of feel like modern weed sometimes goes a little overboard. Once you go over 30%, it's a little crazy. I'll create you a 5-second start countdown, which is like 10 normal people time.
This dude's got 0 wide receivers,
I
brother.
think what I
I feel that.
noticed
I got 1.
when I pivoted back to the live
And he
stream,
still didn't go wide receiver. He's a
there's
madman.
actually
JoJo,
a decent delay.
if you take my fucking go.
There's
Okay.
actually a
Well,
fairly
Waddle's already
decent
gone.
delay.
JoJo's been heisting all my guys so far. Tate or Tyson is who I'm
Maybe
looking
5
at. He's going
seconds
to take
was
one of
off.
them. At least one of them.
I've been seeing Genty go top 5 in a few.
This guy's got a
get it. I
crazy
think
look in his eye right now.
At first, it started off as just like
Tate,
I
you
wanna get
motherfucker.
different, but
Don't take Tyson.
the Genty truthers, they
Don't
believe,
take Tyson.
man.
All right, we're taking
They
Tyson.
believe.
BTJ or Marvin
Reservations
Harrison?
about that offensive line. The Tyler Linderbaum acquisition is huge, but it's just one.
Alec
player. Does
Pierce.
it fix the entire O-line?
Alec Pierce got me in my first finals last year. So salute to you, Alec. Salute.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, we mentioned how Josh Allen was just gonna fucking crush against the Dolphins. That's pretty locked in. That is pretty fucking locked in. So, am I gonna do it? Am I gonna be the team? I think I am.
All right, I think we
I'll
go.
be the Josh Allen drafter. If you tell me I make it to week 17 with this game and I have Josh Allen against the Miami Dolphins, he fucking crushes. Like, maybe we'll have to pull it up separately. Yeah.
I think running back, wide receiver, because we're not to the George
Bring it
Kittle
in
line.
after this next pick.
The George Kittle line
But
falls
I think
right
where we're
after.
going with this next pick, barring a snipe. I'm not going to say it because I know Sosky. Sosky's the only one who I think is
Is that
watching
my
this
wife or is
draft,
that
and he's right next to me.
Underdog?
So at least on this pick, I don't think I can advertise where I'm going. He might have paid attention through the breakdown earlier. He goes Lad McConkey. Obviously, it would pair up with the Chiefs Chargers game. However, Cowboys run defense is dog shit. Cowboys run defense is terrible. So let's go balls to the wall. Let's go all the way. Cam Scattaboo, he'll be healthy week 17. This team's gonna make it, and we're gonna have Cam Scattaboo in our starting lineup at the Cowboys week 17. That could be a 200-yard performance. The Cowboys are really bad in the run defense. Last year, I think they started off like the first 4 games as like overwhelmingly the easiest spot. That is one thing that I think the channel and all of the
big games,
How dare you?
big finales, big relief. Get 100
weekly adjustments and like checking in on how many fantasy points a certain team has allowed. That is where, just in the back of my mind, once I see Cowboys on the run defense matchup slate, it's like kind of instantly you want to start that player. And Scattaboo definitely has the potential of being like a 25-point lock against them. So I'll take Scattaboo. I'm not going to be afraid. With $3 down, everything in the final week, let's
$3 down.
build
He's
a
doing a
ship,
Chihuahua.
as they say. But
Might
hell yeah,
wait and
watch
do
until I fall
one
asleep.
with
Good luck,
him.
good luck. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Check out Best Ball on Call. Very fun time drafting with him. We had a great stream on our channel, so maybe that could be your next watch. Anthony, thank you for hopping in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, bro.
I'm drawing a
Doing
blank here.
Chihuahua? I think it's the Pomeranian. I think that's what it's called. I believe so. Jiri says like it. Thank you, Jiri. Check out Jiri Football.
Oh,
Also
Jordan
a friend of the
Mason.
channel in the So You Think You Can Tout contest. Looking forward to catch up with that. And I think his teammate this week was Rick Aduzel, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks for hopping in, Jiri.
We got Pierce, so
A little
Downs is probably
behind
not
in
the
chat, so
play.
we'll catch up.
Don't love
Lay
Addison.
it down.
QJ
Jimmy
maybe.
Jefferson way over Genty, says Jamie. I mean, the Jets don't have Sauce Gardner anymore, so that's a viable matchup to be chasing.
Michael Pittman. Now on the
Paul
Steelers.
says DB.
Aaron Rodgers last year. He's going to be throwing a lot. He's going to be probably looking for one of those 4,000 year,
Not sure.
4,000
Call the
yards
reference.
throwing
Coaching
years.
might have just been the bad for the O-line last year too.
All right, so we're going to be right in that tight end sweet spot, I think. Actually, no, we're like right at the end of it.
I think this is in regards to Genty. The coaching,
We might have to go
when
tight
you
end,
really
tight
think about
end.
it, I think was like Tom Brady's way of sabotaging the team so that they could tank and get the number 1 pick. Like, if it's
We'll see.
actually true that Chip Kelly was calling plays that didn't exist, who do you think would have approved that, huh? Wow, Swift is still here on the board. I mean, I can't say I'm in love with the Lions run defense, to be honest with you. It could be a little problematic, but this should be a big shootout, a pretty good game, and I'm willing to get back in it running back, to be honest with you. I think having that Lions
You
Bears
can't
matchup is a piece
place
of it.
all of
Probably
your
not gonna do
trust
me
in
too
Week 17 games.
poorly. If I
You
do
just
make
can't.
it, I think ultimately you're
You
starting
gotta have
Swift
guys that'll get you there.
versus the Lions. Tootin and Price come off the board, so running back was coveted. Tootin against the Commanders, that could be pretty good. But there is a Chris Rodriguez
All right, this is where the tight ends start flying off.
revenge game
Damn it!
in that spot. I think C-Rod's going to be vulturing a touchdown. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe
I want
Tootin still
Kincaid.
scores his
That's
own.
my hope.
But
At
if
least
there's
get
only
at
one
least need a
touchdown to be
Kincaid.
had that week, I might favor Rodriguez in my projections, to be honest. So strictly,
And I may have
the
to
week
reach and just
17
stack tight
lens,
ends here.
that might be the direction I might rather go. But Jordan Tyson gets the Falcons. Falcons secondary is not scary. I'll do that. Now I could see Brian Thomas against the Commanders absolutely go balls to the wall, but I don't want to take Christian Watson against Houston. That's a big red flag for Christian Watson. Week 17. Chase Brown at running back 11, Hampton at 12. I get the value, but they both have easily possible higher ceilings than their ADPs. I have a decent share of each. They're absolutely worth a second-round pick. I think all the running backs in this range are worth a second-round pick. It's not the order I would have gone.
Hey, somebody sent me a membership. I don't know what that means.
This contest is a little unique, and every lobby's different. But I do think Hampton, if not for the Week 17 matchup, really has no
I don't know what that means.
that you can think of. I don't think Keaton Mitchell is really a
I don't know how you
big
do
of a
that.
threat to worry about. And then Kimani Vidal, I don't think is stealing his job in the passing game. So all should be fine with Hampton. But the Chiefs matchup might be tough. First down
Like
fantasy,
Kincaid
thank you
Paul.
for the
You guys
$5
both
per
need.
page. It
Well,
says,
they
"Why
both
do
have a
Hampton
tight
try to
end.
improve?" And we finally sold our house today, and I shot at 80 at golf. Damn.
This guy's having a day,
Memorial Day to remember. Let's go. Good luck on the drafts. Thank you, bro.
bro. Fuck you,
Shot
only chess.
80. Hell yeah.
Your mom goes to college, bro.
I would be on the moon if I shot an 80. I've broken 90, but I've never shot in the low 80s.
We're gonna get a third tight end next. We're gonna take Hunter Henry here. We reached on him.
That's
You gotta
awesome, especially if you've been waiting a
solidify
long
the
time.
position.
4 years in the making. Hell yeah, man. Shout out First Down Fantasy. And happy Memorial Day to everyone watching. Hope y'all had a blessed holiday. And
Yeah, I
hope
don't
we
know
can
what that membership thing
bring
means,
it
but
out.
thank you.
Bring it to a close on a high note, at least for First Down. Sounds like an excellent day. Thank you very much for the $5.
What does this mean?
We got Jamie with a gifted membership coming in clutch today.
I don't know what that means, but
Get a personalized
bruh.
rate based on how your family drives with Drive My Way, American Family Insurance.
A true Mediterranean meal should be full
Bro,
of colorful
what is this,
foods and
actual
veggies.
TV?
At Factor, it's all about abundance.
I kind of don't want to take Dak Prescott because I'm making the argument that Josh Allen just fucking crushes, you know? In Week 17, that's kind of the argument I'm making. But I still need two quarterbacks. So I'm going to take Dak Prescott. And, who knows? Maybe Josh Allen underperforms to get there. I'm one of the few teams with Josh Allen
What's this guy's?
in the final, hypothetically speaking. And maybe it's because Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb really deliver in weeks 15 and 16 and carry me there. I actually don't love Josh Allen's schedule leading up to week 17.
What's this
I
guy's
could pull it
name?
up separately. And we mentioned we were going to do that with something else. Forgot about that.
Nice and Blunt. Is that his name, bro?
But I'll pull up Allen's schedule at the very least.
Nice and
right after
Blunt.
this pick.
That's hilarious.
Because if I'm not mistaken,
I think
it's
that's
a little
his
tricky
shit,
for me
bro.
to get there.
Nice and
15
Blunt.
16. All right, I'm on the clock. We do have that Chiefs Chargers matchup looming, so I will get a bring back.
Oh
if
yeah,
we
let's
wanna
get this
address
chat
wide
popping,
receiver.
bro.
All
Wait,
these
what?
players,
I don't know
are
what
very
that means,
comparable,
bro.
but we have the added bonus of the Week 17 shootout potential between the Chiefs and the Chargers. So Quentin Johnston, it is playing at home, definitely spike week potential. He can score a deep touchdown. Who knows what the
Alright, I kind of want
trade
Travis
deadline
Hunter,
is
and then
gonna
we'll
be,
see what's left tight end wise,
what
right?
that's going to affect him, let alone June 1st and AJ Brown's situation. But Quentin Johnston at the moment feels like a good pick in LA. But we're pulling up the
If
Bills
someone's gonna
schedule.
steal Travis Hunter from me, I feel it.
Here it is.
Feel it in my
week
loins.
15, they are versus Chicago. That should be a big shootout. But then in week 16, they're at Denver. I don't know if Josh
Bruh,
Allen's going to be elite
spiced.
in week
Oh, I just need to stop
16
saying names. Every
at the
time I say a name,
Broncos.
they get stolen.
Maybe I need Dak to cover me. Who is his matchup in week 16? He will be versus Jacksonville. On Sunday Night
Bruh.
Football at home, that should be a shootout. I'll take Dak Prescott at home versus the Jaguars, week 16, Sunday night.
Alright, so we're taking Hawk here.
And maybe
That's
he
the
just
play. That's what we're
outperforms
doing.
Allen
Taking Hawk,
again in week
so
17,
we
but
solidified the tight
odds
end
are
spot.
Allen
We're
is gonna
okay
be
here.
the guy you need.
We're done at tight end.
Versus the Dolphins
But
in week 17.
let's just close that quarterback spot too. What do you guys think?
All right.
Really pissing people off and take Justin Fields right
I
here.
mentioned it earlier. We'll pull up Josh Allen's stats
Against
Miami just to
make a laugh. Alright, so we're
perhaps
done at
convince you
quarterback.
a little further
Now we
why it's
just
probably a really good
smash
bet
it running back, wide
if
receiver the
all
rest
you're
of the
trying to
way.
build is a week 17 shipper.
And we're gonna linger until this guy's doing a draft, and I'm gonna outdraft his ass.
Okay. First season in the league.
I'm gonna go get a drink real quick,
This
but
was a
I don't have
game against
time.
the Dolphins. 224, 3 touchdowns.
I feel like I'll get in there and I'll fucking
This
miss
was
it
his rookie
somehow.
season. And then we'll just stick with Dolphins games. 202, 2 touchdowns. Only 14 yards
Bruh,
rushing.
you're gonna tell me about a pick, watch.
But then
On the clock with
37 to
170.
20, they won with
Oh, it told me
256
about the
yards,
YouTube
3
membership
passing
too.
touchdowns,
1124.
56
No,
and a
what
rushing
pick was
touchdown.
that?
So 4 total touchdowns.
131.
137
Damn
to
it, that was
20.
the time.
And
1131.
then you can kind of get the
170.
gist
Guess what?
based on the scores.
We're on
They
pick
beat the Dolphins
177. So cool. Thanks for telling me
They
about
won
something that
56
happened
to
earlier.
26. I think you're going to want Josh Allen if they drop 50 points against the Dolphins. They won in 2021 35 to nothing. He won 26 to 11.
It's a different Dolphins team, bro. You
A few
can't.
weeks later,
I get
they
it, right?
lost
I get what he's
19-21,
doing.
shockingly. His only loss. He still had 400 yards passing, 2 touchdowns.
It is not the same
32
team, brother.
to 29, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns in that game. I think you get the gist. He dominates the Miami Dolphins. Maybe he goes Xavier Worthy. I could see Michael Pittman be pretty valuable. There's also Kyle Pitts. I'll go with Xavier Worthy. Let's build further into that Chiefs-Chargers game. And if Worthy hits our lineup, it's probably because he has a house call touchdown. He's not really the safest bet in your weekly lineup, but he typically can also provide like a 30-point spike. So this is strictly a Week 17 matchup that we're trying to build. And we're getting the bring back.
Let's see, I think Debo. So there's apparently murmurs about Najee Harris
I have my 2 quarterbacks. I think
meeting out in Las Vegas. And if that's the case, Washington is not the 2,
I
bro.
think Kyle Pitts
He is not the
against
2.
the Saints probably
That would be
solid
Najee.
pick. Kind of want to take Kenneth Gainwell though.
So I
but I'm
feel
gonna
like
go Kyle
Braylon
Pitts.
Allen
I'm gonna go with Kyle
would be a
Pitts.
great backup.
8 spots past ADP.
Bro, who took him? Who took
I
Debo
don't think
Samuel?
I
I need to stop saying the words. I need
take
to
him
stop
enough
saying
when
the
he's available
names.
to me in the 10th round. Ultimately, when
Motherfucker
you consider
Jones.
Kyle Pitts in round 10, it's probably a fair price. I don't know if he's going to be exactly a top 5 tight end on the season. We're
We go
drafting him as
Flournoy
tight end
or Stribling.
9, basically. So there's some risk baked in, but he also proved that he can drop like a 40-pointer.
Stribling is an
Not many
8.
players can do
Flournoy
that.
is a
So
14.
we're going to hit the tight end.
So we can't
We're
do
going to
another
hit the
8.
Saints.
So we're definitely doing
Possibly a
14.
big shootout
Flournoy is our
in division.
choice.
Could be a big game.
Oh no, I shouldn't say his name.
I'm not going to shy away from Kyle Pitts at 111.
We're safe.
I've noticed my exposures lately. I'm starting to kind of pay attention now that I have over 50 drafts, and I think I've been ignoring Kyle Pitts just a little bit more than I would like. I've also probably ignored the chat longer than I would like, so
Braylon Allen.
let me try and
We got
speed
Braylon
through
Allen here.
this.
Braylon Allen there.
Any
All right.
disc golfers here? I competed on the tour. I've met world champs and burned bowls with them. If that's not the ultimate,
So we're going 2 more wide receivers and
is.
1
I
more
only
running
played
back.
the regular golf,
That's what we're doing here.
but
So I think we can do running back.
awesome that you also burn bowls with some world champs. That's a dope thing to say. Late to the party, but the blunt is hand. What's up, Jamie? Dolphins defense is going to be improved.
Who's the guy, right? Is it
I
Najee
wouldn't
Harris?
worry about that, delusional
Is he the
Dolphins
sleeper
fan.
that everyone's like
I don't think I'd worry about that. Damn, Shakir goes at
Taj
120.
Brooks,
This
the
is
backup in Cincinnati? But I think it'd
closer
be
to
P.
a much
Ryan
more
over
appropriate
Brooks.
price on Shakir. I think Shakir is one of the best values, but I've been getting him in the 11th, 12th
Dorindo's a bad
round lately. I've been getting
motherfucker,
him
but you
like
got
at
Kalen
137.
Black, you
So
got
for him to go
competition in the
120,
backfield.
I thought I could
I don't
probably
even
just
know,
get
man.
Shakir back at 130 here. That's what I was
I don't really love the running back
expecting to do,
spot.
not gonna lie.
Unless a Kalen
So,
Black or Katron Allen
G for
fall all the
win
way
at the
down.
101. Took his
Devin
5th
Claiborne.
wideout. Already had
Who
DJ
even
Moore on
who
his
even is he?
team.
Is he a rookie?
Takes
Might
Khalil
take a
Shakir
chance.
and
Take a
Mark
chance on a
Andrews.
guy.
Respect. I think
Aaron Jones
Shakir
is
has
injury prone. He's
fallen
old.
far enough where he is
Jordan
now a sleeper
Mason.
pick.
I already have
So
him.
if you want to reach on him,
Actually,
it's
so
not
that's probably a terrible
a
choice.
bad thing to do.
Probably not a good choice.
Especially at the bookend. His next pick was 144. I've never seen Shakir fall deep into the 140s before. So if that's your guy, get your guy.
James Conner.
Respect to it. Maybe I should have done that, but I did get a discount on Kyle Pitts.
They got Jeremiah
Today,
Love, I
it
know.
wasn't meant to be. Allen has played well, and
They got Tyler Algier, I know.
up points versus Denver in the playoffs
But
last 2
James Conner is a crafty bet that's been there for
I
years.
don't think I can bet against him.
Injuries,
Damn,
you know,
Kincaid
bruh.
goes.
That team
Even
sucks.
the
What am
Kincaid
I
stat
thinking?
was sniped for me. That's a bummer. We mentioned
So I think we look at the backup for
Cowboys
a team
game.
that can score, right?
So maybe Tyrone Tracy is a
So let's
viable
just
candidate.
start up here.
But,
Keelan Black, he falls, of course it's
I
him.
also brought up
I
the
think it,
Jordan
nope,
Mason
okay, it's not
Vikings
him.
game versus the Jets. And the thing
Baltimore,
about
Justice
that Jets
Hill,
game,
he's
it's been
behind Derrick
unproven to
Henry.
be
I have
a
Derrick
big
Henry, that'd be a decent
blowout.
handcuff, but we'd have
The
313s.
Vikings,
I don't love
think,
it.
will dominate. So
Jaden Blue,
I think
I don't think
they
he's the
probably
backup.
on
I
the run
think it's
later in the
Malik
season. They might be trying
Davis.
to preserve
I
Aaron
think that
Jones'
might be our
health.
play.
Well,
He's the
he
rookie.
might just be off the
No,
field.
is he a rookie?
Aaron Jones is what, 32 entering
No,
this
he's not a
year?
rookie.
Maybe turns 32 in December. At the very least, I think he turned
Giddens
31 last
or
December.
Davis, and Giddens is 13. So we're just looking at Malik Davis. That's what
And
we're
I don't
doing.
really trust him to stay healthy. So we're going to bet against
Or
go
P.
Jordan
Ryan.
Mason on that one. And then today, we're going to take Stephon Diggs, who I ultimately think is just one of the best picks.
So I can grab a
on the
wide
board
receiver
right now.
first, is
He will
essentially
sign.
what that means.
We don't know where, but he will sign. If it's against Arizona, I actually don't love that matchup for him against Will Johnson.
Should
That's
I
actually
grab
a corner
two?
that could shut him down. Las Vegas at Arizona, that is. But that's
No, that's what
definitely
we're
not
gonna do.
locked in. I think I also
That's what
just
we're
need
gonna do.
points at the receiver
2 wide
position.
receivers, and we'll
And
fall
Wide
back
Tackle
on running
I think
back.
is just really valuable. Unless Travis Hunter just explodes
pull up
and
some
has the
buys here.
breakout that warrants
8
his
is bad,
top
but
2
man,
draft pick. You know,
Malachi
all the
Fields
capital
is
spent last year to get him. Not only did they take him number 2, they also traded up to get him. So unless Travis Hunter breaks out, I think Stephon Diggs has the highest potential of like a target increase that is not injury related. His role in free agency, I think still he carries a lot of
Trey Harris.
gravitas in the free agent market. And veteran wideouts don't really need to sign
I think we go Malik Washington.
really like late July for me to be worried about them not having a team. So I think he's the most coveted option. I think Stephon Diggs will move
Dell.
up possibly like 50 picks. If you told me Stephon Diggs goes in the same range as Michael Wilson a month from now, I don't think it's impossible.
You took Tank Dell. Why do I say their names?
Guys that you can still
Why do I say their
scoop
names?
up late and feel like you're getting a steal. And it's kind of why I push wide receiver sometimes. But he only reserves one spot on the lineup. There's also nothing guaranteed.
And running back.
But at the
I'll
moment,
be okay.
I do project Stephon
We'll just
Diggs
go with one of these guys.
well worth this ADP
There it is.
in the 12th round. So far we're rocking with a 2-4-5-1. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. I think I can get away with that. I don't think I need a third, to be honest with you. We have the Dak and CeeDee Lamb stack. Also have Jordan Tyson. He's going against the Atlanta Falcons. I have the Kyle Pitts bring back. I just remembered that. There's also that. That's good. My wide receiver 3 is Quentin Johnston. Number 4 is Xavier Worthy. And then number 5 is Stephon Diggs, who I think could be going possibly above both of them once he finally finds his landing spot. If you told me he's the Raiders wide receiver 1, isn't he going much higher than, like, would you rather have Stephon Diggs or Cortland Sutton? You know, I think that's a legit question to ask. So maybe it's somewhere else, but
I guess Stephon Diggs. He's not wrong.
Open for the Raiders.
Because Cortland Sutton is now considered a 2 behind
tiebreaker, projecting what
Jalen
will
Waddle.
be good or bad, and at what in January it seems impossible in late May. I don't think it's a lock. I think there's obviously like a lot of luck involved. Injuries play a major role.
The running backs
But I
need
do
a shield
remember
though, for
what
real, right?
history says, and there are some teams that I just don't think have addressed, you know, some of
I
those
mean, yes,
defensive weaknesses.
it's
to
your
really
pick. That was
expect
10 minutes
a
ago.
major change. You know, like the Cowboys are not one of those teams where I think they'll get better on defense. Although, didn't they get Sonny Styles? Maybe their run defense doesn't get better, but maybe they get better in the secondary. I'm back on the clock. I think I'm gonna go with Juwan Johnson as my wide receiver 2. We already have that Saints-Falcons matchup, so let's further invest in that.
Bummy? May.
For the price, Juwan Johnson is an excellent pick. Whether stacked
Props to this guy though, man.
we get the bring back. That's enough for me. And this team feels rather balanced. I don't feel like I have a weakness anywhere. I still need some receiver depth. I'm definitely not done.
Is there a way to transfer my Twitch subs and followers over to YouTube? Is there like a button for that?
2673, something like that.
Where's that button at?
I think that'd be fine.
Alright.
I mean, if he's going to produce, it's going to be down the stretch. Zach Charbonnet might be the guy we need. If we're only looking at the lens of week 17, why not? I don't think I'm going to really need him to help me get there. I think I have a good enough running back room to get me there. Let's swing for the fence. I mean, at Carolina, their secondary is pretty good. Their defense is sometimes pretty good, but their run defense has historically, last few years, been one of the worst. Run defense has actually been a very good, advantageous matchup in fantasy football. So let's just remember the trends. And obviously the trends can change. Any year can be different, but at the very least, that's all the information I can go off of.
Bro, lands on IR. Why did I just draft that guy? Whatever. I should have read that first. It's definitely Jaden Blue then, huh? Blue is the backup.
In fantasy football. So maybe this year's different, but if not, then
it's fine. We're stacked. We're not worried about that pick.
In this contest where I give so much more weight to week 17,
here's what we're gonna do.
That'll be more of a bigger tiebreaker. But in general, it's not really.
Over here, this damn the Pomeranian dude is feeling fast, bro.
Just like is this the theme
it's already
of
got.
this pick? Do I really
It's already 10% full, bro. Sheesh.
But if I'm not playing best ball, if I'm just playing redraft, I don't care about it at all. You know, I'm trying to get to the playoffs.
And this thing released like 3 hours ago, bro.
Regular redraft league. So there's different strategy in both. What's up, Young Moolah? What's up, GAB for Life? Check him out on YouTube. We've had some fun, dope collabs awesome streamer. GAB for life. Delusional Vikings fan. Not saying he won't eat, but to assume 50
Alright.
points is wild.
Let me take a piss real quick, get a
I'm
drink
not saying
in between.
the Josh Allen drops 50, but among the names capable of doing that, if you told me Allen against the Texans was his matchup week 17, I'd be very, very scared of drafting him. But against the Dolphins, that's been a spot where he crushes with like 4 total touchdowns often. So I don't think it's egregious to assume Allen has one of the safest paths to be the QB1 week 17, if it's specifically against Miami. And that's what it is. It's Buffalo versus A-Chain pretty much. That's a good way to put it. That game's not going to be competitive, but I don't think that the Bills in division will take their foot off the gas either. At this stage, it's a little tough to know exactly where to go. So I think I'm just going to go with talent. And I like Jeremy Bernard, but I also love Ted Hurst. And I think Ted Hurst has a pretty decent path to playing time. I'll take Ted Hurst. Yo, Jamie, sorry if I'm just seeing this now. $2 super chat, thank you. You'd love a smoke break. Let's do it. Smoking that sandwich. Love Pitts with a new OC, who centered the Cleveland passing game around Fannin and Njoku. Yeah, Kyle Pitts feels like he's much safer pick this year than ever before, but could still suck. But it's still possible. Kind of want to just take another Tampa Bay Buccaneer. I think I'm going to go Kate Otten. I want the third tight end. I'm going to trust Allen and Dak. So 5 at the position collectively. We got 2 picks left. I think 1 more receiver, 1 more running back is the way to go. I feel good enough about my top 5. Maybe there's a weakness, but I think I only need 1 more. Let's bet that the Diggs click is way more valuable than the ADP suggests. Let's assume we got one of the seals of the draft with Stephon Diggs. Disc golf rules, I can toss it a good 400, 425 feet, but the putting is tough. I imagine those finesse shots are what really separates you. And that's sometimes what really separates you in regular golf from having a good game.
How long this guy's going to take?
I didn't break 100 last time I played. I was at
Like
a new
I leave
course,
this
and there were literally like 5
open over here.
putts. One that literally went like 340 degrees around the cup. There were a few putts that, just left on the board. Not familiar with the greens.
Got a
too
lot
much.
going on over here.
Just missed it by that much. So yeah, the short game is so critical in regular and looks like disc golf as well. I've never played foot golf, where the holes like.
Alright, so I've got
you play with like
that Rainbow guy over here on the side. I got the draft right there. I got stream with OBS. I got the studio thing right there. I got chat right here.
Blunt, you going all
And we're about to
in
do this.
LA Chargers? How many?
Please,
Poms you in?
computer.
This is my
Be
first
cool.
Pomeranian
Be cool.
of the contest. I don't think I'm gonna max this contest. For $3 a pop, it's definitely easier to just rip them and not really worry too much about it. But I don't think I'm gonna spend too much of my time off the live stream in the Pomeranian, and we're not always gonna draft.
Pomeranian, bro. I typed in Chihuahua. What the fuck?
Probably do it most of the time.
Meow.
Like tonight, I'm probably only ripping Poms, but I'll probably stop at like 20.
Babe, turn it down. Turn it down if you hear this.
I can't imagine
I don't want to wake
would
anybody
sell
up.
more than like 60 to 75 bucks into this. When we were looking at the payout structure,
Turn it down.
if you don't finish top 100,
Turn the TV down.
175 person final, you're not making $100. So it's fun.
Turn the TV down, baby.
Terrorists win.
Bro. It's Edna Unnecessary loudness.
Arizona matchup. What if Genti goes down? Let's move on. What if Genti goes down? Washington, Arizona would probably be pretty good. So, 13 picks past ADP. Might be worthless.
Get out of my lobby.
And at this point, one of the main, reasons you're drafting a running back is trying to bet on injury risk. That applies to everyone at a basic baseline rate.
Watch mid, double doors are spawn.
Washington today. Don't have a ton of him. I might go Tyreek Hill, but feels kind of desperate. Maybe I go Keon Coleman just for the sake of it. I get it in too late. We go Tyreek Hill, and at the very least, when I take Tyreek Hill, I want to be
Coleman
the
was
final
kind of doing it, lady.
He might be an absolute zero. He really might be. So that's why I'm never reaching on Tyreek Hill. But he's also not someone that I want to be.
Oh, I just saw the guy's wall. Let's go.
Ball to the final round, and if he's on the board in round 18, I feel like he's a viable legit at this point in time. I'm underweight on Tyreek Hill. I'm not going to tell you that Tyreek Hill is a draft. But if he comes back and is able to do Tyreek Hill things, if his speed is actually not truly impacted, he could be a difference maker. Not sure where he's going to play or if. There's a chance he comes back. There's also a chance it's with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think it's worth a final round pick. I wish it was round 20, but that's not how this goes. Rounds in this format, so he's our wide receiver 7. We'll see, but final round of the draft.
We're vastly outnumbered. I'm vastly outnumbered.
Calvin Ridley's interesting, but
this gun though, bro.
I think I'd rather have Tyreek Hill. If you told me Calvin Ridley got
Atheris.
I think he could be a really valuable asset. Potentially. I think it's
kind
too
of
crowded
nasty
in Tennessee, and after last year, I think he's probably just mentally ready to let somebody else take over, if he can. But might be chasing another contract, so might be willing to step it up if he moves on. There might be a mutual decision with Ridley and the Titans.
Oh, sneaky motherfuckers. That guy's name is a dick. You see that?
They're probably going to be up.
Alright, where's he at?
25 to like 6 at some point in the game. Now maybe that's fourth quarter, but maybe that's halftime. And maybe by the end of the third quarter, some of the starters.
You're a fucking piece of shit, nigga.
There's not
Bruh.
touches available for someone like Aaron Jones.
For me, I really like corn.
What do you like about corn?
It's corn! A big corn that knobs. It has the juice.
For some week 17 appeal, I think in the context of this format, especially.
Bro, they think I'm a really kid. I played the soundbite.
We should be aiming to advance 75% plus.
Classic.
Max, what do you think? I mean, gonna finish top 4. That gives you 25%. So to a certain degree, 3 times. That checks out. That math checks out. Gotta be confident. That's right. That's gonna light teams up this season. I don't know.
Probably missed that.
He's a. I don't know if he's like going to dominate, but just from a pure like volume standpoint every week, I think with someone like Pitts who could be a little, up and down every season, every week. I think having.
Bro, don't look at me.
Putting is the game.
How did I miss that guy? Oh, then there's a guy in front of me. Shit.
Or, better on every hole. Putt to bare minimum only like 1 per 0, then you're going to score. You're going to score pretty well. I use foot golf at least once a hole, kicking that shit to a better lie.
All right.
When I play with my best friend Angus, we Angus and I have an agreement. We have 3 mulligans on the round, and then 2 like lie improvements. So like if you just hit it like right behind a tree and you really have like no shot, like we'll give you, you know, a club length's distance just to improve the lie. We give each other 2 of those. Most of the time we don't even end up using all of them, but that's just like the gentleman's agreement because, you know, we're not pros. We want to enjoy ourselves, and you gotta let someone have a mulligan every now and then between friends. But A-Rod coming in with a $10 super chat. Thank you, homie. Appreciate it. It says rate my palm draft with quarterbacks Burrow, Daniels, and Shuck. That's pretty elite. Running backs Jeremiah Love, Travis Etienne, Manungai, Gainwell, Sampson. Not too bad. I'm not in love with Jeremiah Love, no pun intended, but a little worried about his offense. I love the Gainwell click though, and then Sampson I don't take too often, but Manungai I do think has value where he's going. Wide receiver with Jamar Chase, Terry McLaurin, Alec Pierce, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen
Solid.
McMillan, Zachariah Branch, and Tyreek Hill. That final click on Tyreek Hill, I mean, I just took it. So for both of our sake, I hope that works out. Wide receiver's a little bit thin beyond Alec Pierce, though. Pearsall could either be like elite or just like last year, just so injury prone. But you get the Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow stack. I hope the Ravens defense allows you to go off in the final week. Gadsden, Okonkwo, and Njoku, so both Chargers tight ends, not too shabby. Okonkwo's super valuable, stacked up with Daniels. Might like this team with like, instead of Gadsden, maybe take a wide receiver there. So there's just a little bit more capital spent, perhaps. And then maybe swap out Gadsden with like Juwan Johnson, where probably you took Jalen McMillan if I had to guess. Like that's the only thing that could come to mind. And then maybe just like, if Jeremiah Love is the guy you need, I'm not going to do very well. I'll tell you that. I'm not drafting a ton of Jeremiah Love. So if you love him, he's super talented, but he's not my
940
favorite player,
seat final.
to be honest with you. I'm a little afraid of the Arizona backfield. All right. I will
You
take a
can
look
walk
at
away with
Saucy's team
$10
and
while
adjustment
being
when
a
I feel
final, bro.
probably coming up on the right time to do that. Sosky was right behind me at pick 11, and then we'll hop into one more Pomeranian. And hit that like button if you want a third. If we go over 40 likes, we got 56 watchers, we will do a third draft. We're at 22 likes right now. How about we hit 44 likes, double it, and we do draft number 3. We are on to draft number 2 right after this. Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, Fernando Mendoza, and Daniel Jones in the Pomeranian. That might be a little much, but you did get Daniel Jones at a big discount. I think I would have only taken 1, but Mendoza stacked up with Genty, also nobody else. You only have 5 receivers in this? Brother, I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have done that, Sosky. Genty, Henry, Tootin, Manungai, Corum, Randall. So you spent early on running back. And you only have 5 receivers? Olave, Lad McConkey, Alec Pierce, Travis Hunter, Zachariah Branch. I don't think so. Dallas Goedert, Eli Stowers, and Theo Johnson. Yeah, at least Mendoza had to be someone else, but you took too many running backs too early to only have 5 wideouts. That's my take on it. I would not bet on Sosky's team to make it. Only have to finish 4th. So maybe he threads the needle. But if one of them misses just like 1 or 2 games, you know, like if Lad McConkey misses a 3-game stretch, you might be dead. Because Travis Hunter might be worthless. Branch will get some targets, but might be worthless. I don't know. I would not feel too good about it, even with only 4 out of 12 needing to advance. I don't love it, Sosky.
They only 4 out of 12 admit, or I just did
All
it
right.
4.
With that, we're going to hop into one more Pomeranian, and I'll give you just a few seconds to get situated, but I told you I was going to do it, so if you're not ready now, maybe you never will be. I'll give you a 10-second countdown because we are on a delay. So I will be joining the $3 Pomeranian where all the money is made. Week 17 in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 4 spots left. Definitely a chance to hop in if you want it. And this
Did I
will
get in?
definitely have more of y'all. That's for sure. 50 entries get 6 to 10 to the
Nice
final
and
2 of
blunt.
those. Yeah, but there's...
I'm in.
Here's the thing. I think you can make the final in this. I think you can easily make the final in it. I don't think it's crazy to assume you make the final. But you have to finish top 30 in a pool of like 1,000 people.
All right.
That's still pretty slim odds.
I got the
You
one.
can't do it,
That's nice.
but it might be tough. Bass Fishing for Life gifted a membership earlier today, has the 101. I'm at the 112, the bookend on the opposite side. We got Julio 1806. Let me know if you're drafting with us. We got Ken Bean. P Punch at the 104. Welcome in, P Punch. Niners fan 05 at the 105. That's got to be a good spot. To be Niners fan 05 at pick 5. That's probably the best case scenario. Shoddy 247 at the 106. Saints to Death. I think we've drafted with Saints to Death before. King Dumond. I think I recognize you. Super Beast. Always in here when he gets the chance. Welcome in. And then Hallie Lion. Good to see you. And then 32 years of losing at the 111 right in front of me. If he's been losing for 32 years, that's a good streak. That's definitely going to benefit me to have him right next to me. So pick 11, probably best case scenario for yours truly, but we got a lot of friends and family. Best of luck to y'all. May the best man win. But we only have to finish top 4 to move on, and I hope all 4 who make it are in the blunt rotation. A-Rod just took Tyreek with his last pick. 50K, a little more than site credits. No, the 50K prize is not bad at all. 50K pre-tax. Always pre-tax. The Jedi Loco. Are you in this draft with us? Let me know. About to be on the clock. Might go CD Lamb again. We mentioned how good the matchup is, but instead we'll go Genty. We'll get the actual Las Vegas running back for that Arizona matchup. We'll take Genty today at pick 12. And then I think I'll pair him with Derrick Henry. I think I want the Arizona Cardinals for Ashton Genty, and I want the Cincinnati Bengals for Derrick Henry. Genty and Henry. That's got a nice ring to it. Let's go with that. Ashton Genty, Derrick Henry. The only bummer is that they both have a week 13 bye. That is the only downside. Jackson Review says, do you know Mason? The creator of Fantasy Flock, and I love him, so I'm sure you're great too. I'm aware of Mason. I've spoken to him very briefly on Twitter in the DMs, but I don't know him personally. Mad respect to the Fantasy Flock. Awesome channel. I haven't caught one of his live streams in a while. Just haven't had the time. But last year, I was trying to get in his lobbies for quite some time. It can be tough. But yeah, mad respect to Mason. Shout out to Fantasy Flock. Appreciate you, Jackson. Delusional Vikings fan says, we don't have anyone else to grind that besides Mason. You're not running Claiborne or Jones that much. Are we... Right. This is Jordan Mason. I think Claiborne could be a problem, but ultimately Jordan Mason's the safest to stay healthy. So in week 17 against the Jets with probably good game script, I would assume he probably gets a decent amount of volume. But good evening, Everin Flux. How we doing? Mason might actually be the winning click this year if Kyler lifts the floor. If we can get a James Conner level season out of Jordan Mason, I think we'd be in excellent shape. But I don't know if that's a guarantee. I really don't know. Jordan Mason just couldn't outplay Aaron Jones last year. And maybe it was just the J.J. McCarthy dilemma of the offense just being dog shit. But if it's a split backfield, we might just never see the true ceiling. We're hoping to get Niners Jordan Mason. You know, like we're really hoping that those first 8 games 2 years ago when Christian McCaffrey had his Achilles tendonitis situation and he just wasn't on the field. That's what we're really hoping for. But that's just hard to project until Aaron Jones goes down, and then maybe Damon Claiborne can just be so good in the passing game that he keeps Jordan Mason off the field enough. But Mason doesn't catch passes. In a full PPR league, you might not want to trust Jordan Mason too much. Everett Flux taking a hit to catch up. Appreciate you. Got a Baltimore Ravens team on the overflow draft projected over 3K points. Good luck. The projections, however, don't mean shit. I'll say that many times on the channel over the course of the year. The projections don't mean shit. Love about to smash elite talent over everything. The team is it's like Ashton Genty last year, man. It's the Genty situation. That's what I'm worried about. The Genty situation. Last year, Genty could not overcome. Despite his talent, I would argue Genty's even more talented than Jeremiah Love. The situation might not be able to overcome. Bass Fishing is in. Halley line at the 10. We got Delusional Bite. Delusional, you're Julio. Is it Julie? I don't know how to say it, but you're in it 2. P Punch in it 4. Mula taking the palm down, smashed the like, gotten the underflow. Dang. What's up, DJ Quill? Thanks for popping in. I would have loved taking Chris Olave there, but you know what? Pick 36. I think I got to buy the dip. Ultimately, I think I got to buy the dip. It doesn't feel good, but I think that's what I need to do. Because I don't have many shares of Rashi Rice. I really don't. So with that in mind, maybe we just chase that matchup again. I think so. I'll go Lad McConkey. Ladidi. Ladidi. McConkey. You know what I saw today? I watched Shrek, the original Shrek, in the movie theater today. 25th anniversary. Playing maybe in a theater near you. I believe for the next, until the end of the week, I think Shrek is still playing. I saw Shrek in theaters today, and there was the famous line that makes me think of Shrek. Every time I see Lad McConkey, that'll do, donkey, that'll do. So we took Lad McConkey and Rashi Rice. That'll do, McConkey, that'll do. Chiefs-Chargers matchup should be lit. Finally got in draft with you. I'm the 5-hole. Chad is Niners fan 05. Salute to you. We did clear the bowl earlier, so actually no. I have enough left in it, so let's take a rip for Chad P, who finally joined us in a draft. Pepper Tony is a donkey on the edge. I thought you were goose on the edge. I thought you were goose on the loose. Donkey on the edge? Hendy or Judkins in Dynasty? Ooh. Good question. They're both so good. They're both really, really good. But ultimately, I think the Patriots have the better situation. Long term, as long as Mike Vrabel doesn't go down in disgrace, I think I'd rather just bet on the New England Patriots. I'm gonna go Henderson, but I could see this year still possibly lean in favor of Judkins. There's a chance that Ramondre does not go away, but I think the player I've liked going into last year's draft, the player I ranked higher personally, is Travion. But at the moment, delusional Vikings fan going with Judkins. I think you can probably project more touches on a week-to-week basis right now for Judkins. But in Cleveland, I'm just not convinced that they're as valuable as in New England. But Judkins is in much less of a timeshare. I still believe, though, that Henderson will win the job and not look back. I think at some point, Henderson might just dominate. And if you told me he got Quinshon Judkins volume, I think he would. I think he'd be more valuable. We went with Tyson on the last one. I do really like Tyson, but there's some weird Brian Thomas rumors going on. I'm going to take Brian Thomas. I'm also going to take Brian Thomas. There's two teams that reportedly are in discussion with him, have called, and the Jags are talking about it. It would make sense for them to trade him away, just from like a where's the ball going to go standpoint, but it also makes plenty of sense for them to keep him. But I'm going to go Brian Thomas and Jordan Tyson here. We're going to pass on Beischel Tuten today. Going to pass. Not sure if that's correct. Beischel Tuten should be great. Probably worth taking, but I have Genty and I have Derrick Henry. I'm gonna just trust that they're gonna be awesome. And then we got Hallie Light coming in with a blunt rotation membership. Welcome. Thank you for joining. We have 3 new members tonight. Jamie with his own sub and a gifted sub, and then Hallie Lion. Thank you for joining. Pearsall for BTJ. Both need fresh starts. That'd be interesting. I don't know if they will strictly want.
Wow, took Caleb from me.
I think they would love some really big, high-end draft picks and maybe, another player to address a certain weakness, perhaps. But who knows? Who knows? One more draft after the Jedi. Let me check the likes. We mentioned a like goal. We're at 32 likes, so 10 of y'all hit the like button. Our like goal for draft number 3 is 44. We have 63 watchers, 32 likes. So if 12 of y'all can hit that like button for me, we will do one more draft. We are in round 6 currently, so y'all have time. But at 44 likes, we will lock in draft number 3. But thank you for joining the blunt rotation. Really appreciate it, Hallie. And am I pronouncing it correctly? I'm pretty sure it's Hallie Lion. But I suppose there's part of me that wants to kind of go Halilian. Okay, there, yeah. Halilian, like a chameleon. But okay, it's just as straightforward. Sweet. Glad I got it correct. 5 palms, 4 out of 5 with Tuten. We're leading this wagon to the end. The Tuten Truthers. Never gonna part with their king. Last year I was a bit of a Tuten Truther, but that was in like what the 12th round, I believe. Kind of a different situation. I mentioned it earlier, and we're trying to set up the week 17 matchup. Perhaps I should have just gone with double Jaguar in that instance. Maybe just taking 2 Jaguars was the move. But then in the last lobby, we mentioned that maybe the revenge game for Chris Rodriguez sets up a touchdown there. Vultured away from Beischel Tuten. Maybe they also try to prove a point. Maybe Chris Rodriguez scores multiple touchdowns. Maybe he's not active, though. Maybe he misses time, and maybe Tuten's the guy you need. Maybe Beischel Tuten misses time. Maybe he's the one you need. I'm not sure, but I am pretty sure I'm going to take Justin Herbert here. We have Ladd McConkey, and one team I'm really hopeful is in conversation with Jacksonville about Brian Thomas would be the Chargers. I would really love if that's what happened. So I will take Justin Herbert stacked up with Ladd. And then I'm also going to go with another quarterback. I think I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes here. I think so. There's part of me that wants to take Rico Dowdle, though. He's kind of my boy. You know what? Fuck it. We passed on running back for a minute. Rico Dowdle's one of my favorite RB3s. And I just remembered I don't have either of my running backs in week 13. So maybe I should address that with someone I trust. We're going to be in a much different situation at the running back position with our next 2 picks. 108 and 109 are 24 picks after where I took Justin Herbert. So could have definitely just gone with Mahomes, but I can only start one quarterback in week 17. Let's go with Herbert today. And I'm definitely not getting Mahomes to circle back, but it's not the end of the world. It's not a problem. Is it crazy? I have Genty ranked 7th looking at his numbers from last year in the updated situation. I think he'll score 300 plus fantasy points. I don't think it's crazy, but I think similar to my belief in Hampton, there's a lot of projection involved. You know, like if that's what you think, if that's what you believe, then trust your gut. There's nothing wrong with having conviction, planting your flag, and, you know, going with your guy. When Genty breaks out, when he finally lives up to his true potential, he can 100% be not just top 7, but maybe top 2 overall. Genty's that good. So if that's what you believe, go for it. I kind of want to see what the Raiders offense kind of looks like personally before I go anointing him that high. So that's where I feel differently about it. But, you know, I'm trying to project with other guys too. I could also be wrong. I don't think it's crazy at all. I think Genty's one of those names that is a dark horse to be the RB3 and potentially even the RB1. You know, if everything really broke perfectly for Genty, I could see a 2,000-yard season from him. I don't think it's out of the cards that we'll get that one of these years. You know, we finally got it out of Saquon. Don't think it's impossible with Ashton Genty. Will it happen year 1 in the Clint Kubiak Raiders offense? That, you know, yet to be determined. I thought last year was just so bad, and their offensive line isn't just like elite enough all of a sudden for me to put him that high. But I don't think you're crazy to believe it. Hit the farkin' like button, fellas. Welcome to the rotation. Pass it to the left. Puff, puff, pass. Don't bogard the joint. As long as it keeps moving, we're chilling. Good vibes. That's what I'm talking about. Have I drafted with you before, Hallie Lion? Gonna be tooting that horn all the way down the cliff. First down fantasy, not a believer in Beischel Tootin, apparently. What am I drafting? We're drafting the $3 Pomeranian that just dropped today, Jeremy. So I know you probably want a BBM, but our third draft will indeed be another $3 Pom. The Fantasy Roundup. Shout out the Fantasy Roundup. Fun channel. I've popped into some streams there. Sharp Drafter. Yeah, we're as far away as possible, Bassfish. We're kind of... Wow. Y'all let Mahomes come back? Y'all are nice. Wow. I have to take him then. 108, Patrick Mahomes? Yep, I'll do that. Especially with Rashi. Now the question is, do I just take Travis Kelce here? Or do I take the guy I planned to take all along when I passed on Beischel Tootin? I think that's what I'm going to do. Y'all were nice to me on Patrick Mahomes. Maybe y'all just don't like the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think it'll happen, but I'll push my luck on Travis Kelce and just take who I always planned to go with. I thought I was going to go with Tyler Shuck, honestly. The plan was to go Tyler Shuck, Chris Rodriguez at 108, 109. Would have loved to take all three, but I don't think I wanted to double tap quarterback there. Only have to finish top 4, so I don't think this is a contest where I feel desperate to have 3 quarterbacks. I think I can get away with 2 when I have Herbert and Mahomes. They could both finish top 5. It's not out of the question. So I think I'll probably stop with that. I think I can probably finish top 4 with just Herbert and Mahomes. But then receiver, we took 4 in a row. We took Rashi, Lad McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr., Jordan Tyson, and who knows? Maybe Brian Thomas Jr. is traded for some draft picks, and Quentin Johnston pretty soon. Who knows? Maybe, just maybe, that's what happens. But Genty, Derrick Henry, Rico Dowdle, Chris Rodriguez. I'm liking the team. We get the C-Rod revenge game week 17. I think he will drop a touchdown. At least I'll be ranking it that way. As long as he's healthy, I will be hyping up the C-Rod revenge game, week 17, in the championship game. I do know, Jeremy. I'm very aware. Jeremy, you're the only one that like makes me feel bad for not drafting more BBMs. In all honesty, but for the sake of my bankroll, we got June, July, and August still left, and I'm still not planning to draft more than like 30 BBMs total. Not gonna lie, Best Ball Mania is not the tournament I'm trying to max out. It's more appealing this year, but last year I didn't even do 10 BBMs. I did 9 last year, if you can believe that. Was not my go-to. I might be doing some pit bulls very soon. You know what? Okay, we're at 40 likes, so we're still actually not hitting draft number 3 yet. I see 40 likes. I mentioned 44 is our target. We got 57 watchers, so if 4 of you hit the like button, I will put it up to a poll. Will we do a $3 Pomeranian or a $20 pit bull or an $8 Dachshund? How about that? Because I'm much more interested in maxing the pit bull. You can only do 10 pit bulls. I haven't done one yet. We can do one on the stream. If y'all get me there, which I think now that I mentioned it another time, we'll probably hit it for sure. But draft number 3 at 44 likes. Pom, Pitbull, or the Dachshund. Saints to Death was not willing to let me have it. Really didn't expect it. But Travis Kelce goes 127. I haven't seen Kelce fall back to the 132. Haven't seen it. Yeah, we're sitting at 42 likes right now, so we need 2 more. 2 more. You know who has been the best fucking tight end matchup in the league for a minute? The Cincinnati Bengals. So I'll go Mark Andrews in week 17 against Cincinnati. Unstacked, I don't give a shit. I'm taking him. I might go Orlando Gadsden here, but also maybe push it. My receiver room could use some help. I'm going to take Jaden Higgins. Don't love it, but falling past ADP by 9 spots, a pretty solid value in the 12th round. And last year, I loved him. Last year, I really liked him. So maybe I'm just bitter. Maybe I'm just, in my feels too much about it. I've been fading Jaden Higgins hard. Haven't taken him anywhere close to last season. And last year, it took me a minute to kind of warm up to him as well. So maybe I'll catch up over the coming months. I've been really avoiding it. But the thought process still applies. There's still a breakout chance for him. Christian Kirk has left the offense, so that opens the door. Do we really trust Tank Dell? Not too much. I would have loved to see his best games actually come with CJ Stroud in terms of volume. His best game with CJ Stroud, he only caught 2 passes. One of them was a house call, but it was week 17, so maybe we should hope for that to repeat. And overall, the volume can significantly increase with no more Christian Kirk. But Christian Kirk also missed some time last year. It didn't really matter. Tank Dell could be a big problem. Jaden Higgins just might not be that good. But this late, Stephon Diggs is off the board. Khalil Shakir is off the board. Even Travis Hunter is off the board. So not that many amazing options. And considering Jalen Coker will face the Seahawks, not the best matchup. Rashid Shaheed will face Carolina. Also not the best matchup. We'll take Jaden Higgins. The Packers, weather could be a problem, but their secondary is not the scariest imaginable. So they're going to have their hands full with Nico Collins. maybe Jaden Higgins does pop off. But maybe I have enough receivers in my lineup already where he just helps me get there. He's not in my lineup week 17. Maybe he just helps me arrive to the championship. I still have to advance. You know, I still need the points at receiver. But the Jedi Loco says in 3 BBMs, he's only drafted 3 so far. I've drafted, I believe, 9. I think I'm already at the amount that I've drafted last year. I did 8, and then I had the free entry that I earned on Thursday. That was my 9th Best Ball Mania. But Jeremy says, I'm glad going hard on DK. Haven't done that many BBMs. That's a fair strategy. Isn't there more money available if you win DK? Isn't like 3 million up for grabs, if I'm not mistaken? But thank you, P-Punch, for hitting that like. We're at 47 likes, so we have locked in draft number 3. Go ahead and vote in the poll if you want to draft with us. At the moment, the Pomeranian is winning, but there's only 16 votes and 57 watching. So if you want to decide on a different draft, go ahead and hit the poll. Your choice will decide. But the Jedi wants the Pitbull. We're not going to get CJ Stroud at a good price. That's unfortunate. That would have been a pretty solid stack there. I don't have that many tight ends, but I do have a Jaguar. We invested in that Jaguars Commanders game. So I'm going to go Brenton Strange here. I think that feels like a strong option. And I think I'm going to further invest in that game once again. Our running back room feels good enough. And I think Rodriguez and Dowdle can carry me week 13. I'm not going to get desperate. I already took Sharbs on one of these teams. I'm not going to do it twice in a row. And I think with Andrews, I'm not dying to grab the 3rd tight end right now. I'm going to go Antonio Williams, another Commanders-Jaguars matchup investment. And at this point, there's no way Antonio Williams circles back to me. But right now, he is the wide receiver 2 in Washington. So the rookie I was actually taking quite a bit in the big board in round 18. I'm pretty sure I finished with about 10% Antonio Williams in the big board before he got drafted to Washington. So I'm happy about that. I was definitely scrolling down and bringing him in. I think the price increase is fair. Ultimately, what is the difference between round 14 and round 18? If this was an auction format, maybe $1. You know, like maybe that's the difference between a $1 pick and a $2 selection. But odds are it's still a $1 pick. So I don't really see the problem with it. There's not many stacking partners with Jaden Daniels. And at the moment, the volume is probably safe to project. So I understand why he's risen. And we have to wait till pick 180. He will not make it back. It all makes sense to justify it, especially investing in the Jaguars Commanders game. So far in this draft, we have Brian Thomas, assuming he's still a Jaguar. We also have Chris Rodriguez going against his former team, the revenge narrative. Brenton Strange. The Commanders defense doesn't really scare you, so maybe they give up a touchdown to the tight end that week. And then Antonio Williams. If there is one strength the Jaguars defense had last year, it was defending the run. Assuming that doesn't change, you would much rather have a receiver against Jacksonville than a running back. So let's stick with that. I hope it all checks out. But we're coming up on 50 likes. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much for liking the stream, sticking with me. We have 58 people watching, and I appreciate every single one of you. Y'all are dope. Dope as fuck. Tonight, with the super chats and the memberships gained, thank y'all for tuning out, for coming out and tuning in, I should say. I think that's more accurate. But BBM, just so we get one vote. I did not want to commit to the BBM. I haven't entered a single Pitbull yet. So that's where I'd be more excited to do that tonight, in all honesty. A blessing I got in the underflow. I am drafting the motherfucking winner, smacking the hell out of this draft. Are you going to let us know how it goes, Young Moolah? Now I'm curious. Now I need to know. The Jedi is maxed on the Dachshund. Most people are maxed. It's not going to be open too long, but Peppertoni says $3 yawn. Pitbull it up. It's Monday night. This contest just dropped. If it's close, then we'll do the Pitbull. But I'm not checking the poll results as of yet. If it's close, then maybe I'll override y'all's decision. Maybe I'll do a Pitbull. But surely the one Dachshund vote was a mistake. I have done 3, but I'm 23 in on DK. DK main over BBM. Yeah, DK doing a do 5, get 1 free again. That's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Especially if you know you're going to do a bunch anyways. As long as that's part of the plan, then it's not a bad deal. All right. I think I'm just going to take David Njoku because at the turn, I don't expect him to make it back to me at the end of the 17th round. Let's take that stack with Justin Herbert. And then, I should probably grab a running back. Katron's kind of interesting. I do like Sean Tucker, though. I think Sean Tucker actually has, like, a path to contribute. Let alone hit your lineup in just week 17. So I'm going to go Sean Tucker. I think Sean Tucker in my personal ranks, I do have above Katron, and I'm just really not trying to draft the Cleveland handcuff too often. So I'll go Sean Tucker today. I like him this late. And sometimes he's still there at pick 204, but I don't really see the point of waiting. Don't think it matters too much. I just want to lock up my 5th and final running back. That's my main objective here. So I'm rocking a 2, 5, 6, 3. I might grab a 7th running back, a 6th running back, excuse me. But does my receiver room feel good enough? With Rashee Rice, Lad McConkey, Brian Thomas Jr., Jordan Tyson. Pretty solid. But Jaden Higgins, Antonio Williams, not much is guaranteed there. I think this team could use an 8th receiver. We got Genty and Derrick Henry. They're going to carry me pretty far. Rico Dowdle, Chris Rodriguez, I think are good values where they're going. Going to contribute in the flex a decent amount. And then Sean Tucker, I think, is a good running back 5. I think you can stop with that. I don't think it's crazy to stop with that. If you want a 6th, go for it. Be my guest. It's a bit of a luxury, but it's not one you can't afford. The question is, do I need the 3rd quarterback? And I don't think I do. I think just trusting that Mahomes will be good. He might miss some time early in the season. His bye week is in week 5, so might have just a very slow start. But Justin Herbert, weeks 1, 2, and 3 is against Arizona. That's going to crush. Against the Raiders, that's going to dominate as well. And then week 3 is at Buffalo. While they might not win that game is probably a big shootout and definitely a big test. So first 3 games, I think Herbert's going to be very good. And by week 4, I think Mahomes might have a cushy matchup, if I recall. Then he'll be on bye. And I think Herbert has another easy matchup. So I'm hoping for the best. But perhaps Mahomes early on doesn't give me enough, and maybe I get screwed. But I don't think I'm desperate for that final quarterback. We don't have Kyle Pitts on this one, so I don't think I can really justify the Tua click. I guess I could. Ultimately, he's one of the final starting quarterbacks, perhaps, but I don't think I want it. I think that's the main argument. I don't think I want it on this team. I'm going to just trust that Herbert and Mahomes are enough. So I think it's just 2 receivers to close it out. And one of them is going to be Brennan Thompson. I'll take him right now. And then the other one is going to be Tyquan Thornton. We're going to go with a Chief and a Charger, just another stacking commitment. I have Rashee Rice, Tyquan Thornton. I have Lad McConkey. I have Brennan Thompson. I do have David Njoku. I do not have Travis Kelce. I do not have Xavier Worthy. I do not have Quentin Johnston or Trey Harris or Oronde Gaston. But I don't think my stacks are overcommitted. We got 2 receivers on both teams, no running backs, and then only 1 tight end for very, very cheap. I like this team. Herbert, Mahomes, Genty, Derrick Henry, Rico Dowdle, Chris Rodriguez, Sean Tucker. Feels good enough. And then we get Arizona week 17, Cincinnati week 17. The Titans, also maybe not the toughest run defense. Robert Saleh might really turn them around, but maybe week 17 we just get C-Rod in the lineup in that revenge spot. Sean Tucker against the Rams, I think might not be the best spot, but could just be good enough in Tampa where he helps me advance and make it to the final round. But wide receiver room with 8 of them, I think a good enough depth chart to get it done, and enough up top. I feel good about it. Rashee Rice at pick 36, Lad McConkey at pick 37, BTJ Jordan Tyson at the next turn, Jaden Higgins, Antonio Williams, Brennan Thompson, and Tyquan Thornton in the final 2 rounds. And then tight end with 3 of them feels pretty strong. We have Mark Andrews against the Ravens. Against the Bengals week 17. They have had the worst tight end defense in the league the last 2 seasons. For fantasy purposes, you always start tight ends against Cincinnati. That being said, I started Isaiah Likely against Cincinnati last year in week 17. He got me a bagel. So maybe it's overblown, but I do think it's a matchup to chase. Then we have Brenton Strange. That Jags-Commanders matchup might come in the clutch, though. And then David Njoku, another Charger, for that Chargers-Chiefs game. I like this team. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it was well built. A lot of bringbacks, and it's built around only like 2 or 3 games. Like, we get the Chargers game, we got the Ravens game, and then the Jags game against Washington. That's really it. And that might be enough. All right, a lot of y'all are in here with me, so let's start with our members. We got Hallie Lyon at pick 10, and I'll try to get to everyone, but I'm going to start with the members for sure. He goes Lamar Jackson, Cam Ward. I think with Lamar in this contest, I think we can push just 2 QBs. Only have to finish top 4, so you have an advantage drafting Lamar that early. Lean into it, and then Cam Ward I think is one of the values for the price. Jonathan Taylor, Ken Walker in the first 2 rounds, Cam Scadaboot in the 4th round, so 3 running backs early. I had a team just like this the first time around. And then Tyler Algier, Damon Claiborne, not bad. I think waiting that late after you invest so much at running back, 3 in the first 4 rounds makes plenty of sense. I like stopping at 5. Zay Flowers, Carnell Tate, we got both of them stacked up. Jordan Addison, Michael Wilson, Casey Concepcion, Stephon Diggs, one of my favorite clicks. Wish I got him on my team. Ryan Flournoy and Jacoby Lane. Not bad. We got another Ravens stack. And yesterday, when we were live with Who Hames, right as I was dipping out, DJ Quill, Ravens fan, popped in, asked her who she trusted as the rookie to own in Baltimore. She did favor Jacoby Lane, higher draft capital. Also gave a shout out to Tez Walker, but when it came to the rookies, the question I specifically asked, she did favor Jacoby Lane. So on this channel, we'll probably trust her insight, probably go Jacoby Lane most of the time. Harold Fannin in Cleveland at pick 106, I think an appropriate fall, probably where he should be going, but very valuable past the pick 100. We got Kenyon Sadiq on this team and Gunnar Helm for the stack as well. Well-built team, no real issues. I like the receiver depth quite a bit. Running back depth is super strong, and then stopping at 2 quarterbacks allowed for all the depth everywhere. And then Algier, Claiborne could be super valuable going late. I like the swing with Claiborne. The rookie in Minnesota could get some touches for sure. All right, so good team, Mr. Lyon. We're also going to review Super Beast team. I'm pretty sure Super Beast is one of the members, if I'm not mistaken. Joe Burrow and Bo Nix also went with the 2583 build. Can't complain. That's what I took myself. We got James Cook, Chase Brown, Kyron Williams, Brian Robinson, and Mike Washington. I took Big Mike on the last team, and I'm always in favor of B-Rob. You start off 3 straight running backs in the first 4 rounds. This price on Kyron Williams was fucking awesome. So I let him slide. Maybe I should have taken him myself. Honestly, I kind of wish I took Kyron a little bit, but I liked my team even without him. it is what it is. But very strong with these three receivers. Had T. Higgins, Christian Watson. We mentioned the Houston matchup for Christian Watson. I'm actually not too excited about that the more I think about it. At home in January against the Houston Texans. Could be a problem for Mr. Watson. Cortland Sutton, probably going to avoid the Christian Gonzalez matchup, though. Could be the receiver you need against the Patriots week 17. QJ, like him, you took him above ADP, pick 88, but definitely worth 6 picks higher. I like that click quite a bit. Wandale at 105. Pulled him up. Don't see that too often. He's been falling lately, but I do like him. I still trust Wandale quite a bit. Jalen Coker, wide receiver 6, always feels strong. And then Jeremy Bernard in Pittsburgh. Zachariah Branch, 2 valuable rookies. Very strong late round clicks. Receiver room collectively is really good. The only one that makes me a little worried is Watson's value week 17. You can still get it done, though, without him in the lineup. You only have to start 3 minimum. So he might not be in the lineup against Houston. It is what it is. He can still help you get there. Goddard, one of my favorite clicks. Gadsden, you didn't let me have him, but at 153, a full round past ADP, I don't blame you for taking him. And then Mike Gesicki, stacked up, indeed.
Oh, we're gonna stop streaming, guys.
Nice little stack.
Appreciate the
to
love.
close it out. Pretty good
I think
team.
we're done after this one.
No complaints